Hello, everyone. Did you know, very shortly, George Jetson's parents...
No!
You didn't even finish
It's
it.
important to know.
Didn't even finish it.
Welcome to High Rollers D&D. We're a Dungeons and Dragons show here on Twitch.
That's it. You're just going to stop there.
High Rollers D&D.
No, didn't get the full fact.
It made me laugh.
Bullshit.
It made me laugh. Tom tried to tell us the fact as if it was very important information, and
It's
it made me laugh.
hugely important information.
Amazing. Welcome to High Rollers D&D, everybody. I'm your Dungeon Master, Mark Sherlock Humes. We are a bunch of idiots in the UK that play D&D every week, and we're going to have a great time. Welcome to the best D&D show ever made. I'm joined by these people. I'm joined by Rhiannon, Tom,
Hello.
Katie, Trot, and Kim. And yeah. What George Jetson's parents? What? You'll never know now. You have to ask Tom about it in the break. He'll tell you all about it.
No. Okay.
Nope.
Sure.
Because Tom, you can't tell about it now because we've got a lot to get through. Because boy, howdy, this week, it's just everybody loves High Rollers this week. We got 3 sponsors this week. Whoa!
Everyone's invited.
Wowie.
Everyone's invited. And Chris Trott, being the legend that he is going to tell you all about all 3 of them. We've got D&D Beyond, NordVPN, and our good friend Steamforged Games with a brand new product, Adventures in Academia. Trott, take it away.
There we go.
That lead in.
That's the wrong one. Hello, everybody. Steamforged Games have a new Kickstarter coming out in 2 days' time, November 30th. It's the Adventures in Academia First Class, which is a magical college of characters for the 5th edition role-playing adventures, which, again, it's only launching for 7 days from the November 30th, so get on
Only
this.
7 days? Whoa!
It's only up for a week. There are, let me show you, 12 detailed miniatures. Whoa! Here's some.
Wow.
They are actually really cool. Students have special ancestral items that level with them. They're very cute. They have special abilities based on their house.
Turtle.
These aren't all of them, by the way. There's badges and who they pick as a friend or rival. Let's keep going through because there's some really good ones. Hold on. Look at here's some painted minis.
Look at this.
Here's what they look like
by the way,
painted.
Oh, that's mine.
That is
That's
painted
mine.
by our good friend Electric Eve, who did
Oh,
our Aerois
nice.
miniatures. Yeah, she did all of these, I believe.
Awesome.
Very cool. There's a few of these. They're really, really awesome.
Fur bog.
Awesome.
Super well
Nice.
painted. But most
the little
importantly,
badges.
there is a Kickstarter exclusive
Hello, Cam.
coming up very shortly. Here he comes after the Aero Wizard. Very important. It's the Professor Dog. Which is an Animal Adventures crossover if you've had their Animal Adventures pack. There's also some wonderful bespoke custom dice with an embroidered bag as an
Looks like you've just
exclusive
rolled
add-on
them,
item.
Trot. Look at you. It's like you're throwing them in the air. Oh,
You rolled a
wow.
2.
And there's also 13 5th edition compatible fold-out character folios, which are an exclusive. There
Very
are
cool.
also PDF battle maps, character sheets, character templates, including reader-accessible versions as well, and the one-shot PDF adventure. So if you want to use these characters in an adventure, featuring the Magic School, the Grand Academy, is also available as well with the student characters. So please use our link to check out this Kickstarter I almost said Cackstarter on November the 30th, 2 days' time. Thank you very much. It looks really cool.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Look,
awesome.
Thomas Lishman, the creator of Adventures in Academia, is in chat right now.
Amazing.
From
Hello,
Steamforged Games. Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah. I also noticed
no-
he got silenced earlier for posting URL, so that was pretty funny.
Sorry about that.
Awkward.
Thomas.
It's automated.
Sorry about that.
Not to steal Trot Thunder, but do want to just quickly say Steamforged Games, amazing company. They've supported us loads in the past with High Rollers. We're doing loads of cool sponsor stuff. They make loads of amazing D&D accessories. If you haven't checked out their Epic Encounters box, Animal Adventures, which we did the one-shot in and had an absolute blast playing, plus the new Adventures in Academia. And obviously, Adventures in Academia might tie in well with other D&D products that might be coming. What coincidence!
What a
that
wonderful
those might be
Oh.
around. You can use them in one and in the other. That's
But they have their own
amazing.
adventure as well if you need that.
Yes, and maybe
Inspiration.
a certain dungeon master might also do something with them as well.
What are your hands
might
doing there, Mark?
be working something out.
Just pointing at yourself.
It's me. free. And yeah, it's really cool. The miniatures, honestly, I think Steamforged Games make some of the best miniatures in the world, not just in the UK.
They're
I genuinely think their miniatures are amazing.
nice.
Yes.
And you should definitely check it out. Their Kickstarters are always super, super valuable. You get so much for the cost of them. Absolutely invest in this. We love Steamforged Games. We love you. Thanks for sponsoring High Rollers.
Thank you. Anyway, let's move on to our second of the third sponsors today. Second of three.
Second of the third.
That's what I meant. Are you on the internet right now? Huh?
I am.
Well, I hope you're using a VPN service, and there's no better service than NordVPN to protect you. Get secure and private access, Mark, which is, I'm sure you're about to ask what a VPN even is.
Yeah, what is it?
Well, it gives you secure and private access to the internet with an encrypted tunnel where nobody can see you and grab your data. They can't get the dirty mitts on your
What
data.
does VPN stand for?
It
Vicious
stands for
Piss
Virtual
Nanny?
Private Network. It was kind of irrelevant because I already told you what it does. And it masks your IP, which is a specific address where you're located, so people can actually find your address with your IP. NordVPN masks that. You can protect all your devices, whether it's Windows, Linux, Mac, laptops, iOS, Android, even Android TV. NordVPN can protect them all. And not only that, with the fast
TV?
Yeah, your TV. Your fast, stable connection, you can access the entire internet, not just what your country has. Just simply choose from a different location on the NordVPN app, and hey presto, you can access that country's, specifically Netflix library. That's what you'll do it for. Now, if you were to head to nordvpn.com now,
Ow.
you'll see that there's a Black Friday deal that's got 68% off a 2-year plan. That's all right. That's a pretty good deal. But you know what? NordVPN have teamed up with us to give you guys an even better deal. A 73% discount on a 2-year plan and an extra month thrown in free. You have to use our link, though, if you want to get that deal, because it's not on the front page. And if you don't like it, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try it out. There's no reason not to. You have to click it now because I said so.
Link?
It's nordvpn.com/HRDND. Almost said the Hat Films on there. HRDND.
HRDND. So definitely
one.
use that one, not the Hat Films one. You want to use nordvpn.com/HRDND.
It's a slightly better deal.
It's a slightly better deal. 73% off a 2-year plan.
Yeah. And finally, of course, how could we go a stream without using D&D Beyond? Frankly, we'd shut down. We would not cease. We would not exist. We would cease.
We would not cease.
I will not cease.
The deals, they're not ending. Now is your chance
This is really good, yeah.
to jump on the best digital toolset for D&D 5th edition with D&D Beyond's Cyber Week sale, kicking off tomorrow. Okay, so fill your collection
A whole week.
of Dungeons and Dragons books, snag some holiday gifts for friends during D&D Beyond's biggest sale of the year. please use our specific link in chat so they know our very valuable High Rollers audience, that's you, are rabid for these cyber deals. If they're too expensive, now's the time. As of tomorrow, Cyber Week sale. Check it out.
We definitely want our community to be rabid.
Rabid.
Rabid for those D&D Beyond sales. That's what we want. And Steamforge Kickstarters and NordVPN too. No, it's been amazing. It's amazing to have more sponsors. I think, everyone's they can sense that with the new High Roller Studio, we're going to blow up. We're going to be big. So everyone wants to get in early and be our friend.
You're going to be something one day.
You're going to be something someday, kid. But no, we love them. They've all three sponsors have been with us for a long time, and we love them. And please do go check them out. We always try and only work with sponsors of products that we particularly like and that we trust, and companies that we like. So if we are kind of promoting them to you guys, it's because we actually genuinely think they're really good. So go and check them out. And do use our links in video chat or in the video description below. That's it for sponsors, but the deals, they don't end there. Oh no, they never end, because over on the High Rollers merch store, which the link of is in chat, and you can go to Fresh Merch High Rollers. If you just search that, I can't remember the link. There's loads of Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals there as well, right?
There are. I'm not
Somebody talk about it.
If you use the code FRESH15 at checkout, and this is only active until tomorrow, Monday the 29th is the last day for this, so this is wrapping up pretty soon. So there are still Christmas jumpers, and our beautiful new dice scrolls are still on sale, so you can grab yourself 15% off. So if you want to get anyone any gifts for Christmas, yourself gifts for Christmas. We do also have our basic dice set still in stock, which is a slightly cheaper option if maybe you didn't want to go for the more expensive dice option.
Even if you do order the most expensive one, that little zipper, that can fit 2 sets of dice in there, Katie. Why not get 2 sets? Why only have one when you can have 2?
Why not
Roll
both?
2d20s, right?
Yeah, both have the HR symbol on the 20 as well when you roll it. They're very nice dice. So yeah, get yourself a good deal on your jumpers and your dice.
Just be really careful on the website. There seems to be some sort of error on here, so please don't click that. That probably
do not click that.
That might
Not
just
super weird.
just be really careful with that.
Yeah.
I actually don't know
just
what
don't
the
do
broken
it.
mask thing is. I've been busy doing other stuff, so I guess don't click it.
Just don't click on it.
Yeah,
Don't click on it.
Don't.
But yeah, grab yourself a Christmas jumper. We've got 4 of the group. Me and Rhiannon are being emo kids, so we didn't wear them. But everyone's wearing them. They're super comfy, perfect for Christmas. Then all of your aunts, you wear that on Christmas Day, and your grandparents will be like, "Oh, what's that jumper you're wearing, dearie?" And then you can explain what D&D is. And then you can, and then you literally can get and then you bring out your starter set that you got for Christmas, and you're like, "Here you go, Grandma. You're a dragonborn paladin. Let's go, baby!" And then you start playing D&D with Grandma.
Also,
If
if
you
you
don't have grandparents.
cold,
You do it with
It's
your
really
parents or
cold.
your nephews or whatever.
Cousins, nieces, dogs,
Go on, Kate.
cats.
Hamsters.
I was just saying it's really cold in the UK just now, so
Yeah.
Ideal
Get your jumper
time
on.
to get a
Get your
jumper.
jumpers.
Get-
You hate
That's
being
very
warm?
comfy.
except in my office, which is a sauna, by the way. But
sauna.
in the UK in
look.
general, my God, it's cold.
If it's good enough for Matt Mercer, it's good enough for all of you at home, so you can wear it. Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone. That's it, I think, for announcements and stuff like that. Do just want to quickly say as well, again, thank you so much for helping us raise so much money for the brand new High Rollers Studio. We did our fundraiser a couple of weeks, 2 weeks back? A week back? I can't even remember. Time.
Last week.
Saturday.
Last week. Blimey. This week has been a weird week. Thank you so much for that. We have got a bunch of videos up on YouTube. If you go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can check out the Battle Royale that we did. We also uploaded the Gartic phone episode because it was very, very funny, and you should go and watch that. We had a good laugh playing that through. And just, again, thank you for helping us raise so much money. We've begun sort of collecting some things. We've ordered some very fancy, lovely things that you helped us
I
raise
spent
money
it all.
for. Kim
gone.
embezzled or spent it all. And we are hoping that we will hopefully be getting the keys this very, very soon, this week in fact, and we can start sort of getting everything ready and shaped up. And then in the new year, hopefully, we will be in our brand new studio. So thank you all once again for helping us raise so much money. And yeah, go check out those videos on YouTube as well. And that's it, I think, for all of the announcements. So it is just going to be a case of dun-duns and then game. Hello, and welcome back to Aerois. Traveling to the plane of Lunaria, also known as the Feywild, the party have set out to save the life of their friend Thalia, an astral ship captain who helped them return home after they were sent across the plains. Afflicted by a terrible curse, Thalia believes her only hope is the one who placed the curse in the first place, a sorceress by the name of Mesmera, who has taken over Thalia's home city of Heartspire. However, to reach the Feywild from Aerois, the party enlisted the help of another companion, Rosemeadow, a strange centaur who grew up as an outsider on Aerois. With the magical artifact given to Quill, the Wayfinder's Guide, the party were able to traverse beyond the barriers that prevent planar travel. After arriving, they discovered that there may be more to Rosemeadow's story and have set out to find the truth and rescue a group of centaur from an ill fate. This journey has led them to Black Stallion Woods, where a pair of deadly spirit hunters, conjured by Zarkira, a powerful mage and enemy of the party, long ago still haunt and prevent anyone from entering or leaving. The spirits appeared before them and a battle ensued. With a clever use of Nova's portal abilities delaying one spirit, the party turned their attacks to the other, Quill's foresight narrowly saving Nova from a possible death. And with one spirit destroyed, the other is still poised to strike, however, and the battle continues. And that, my friends, is where we are picking up straight away today. You will need the Roll20s open if you do not have it. We've got a little battle map going on, but to set the scene, you are on a very heavily forested road that tracks through Black Stallion Woods, this ancient, alien woodland. You are all kind of spread out, all having kind of rushed off to various parts to fend off these spirit riders, these kind of dark black-clad riders. One of whom had a bow, one of whom had a sword. You have definitely picked up on that these are not mundane weapons. These seem to have the ability to literally strike somebody directly in the heart or potentially cut off their heads, is the case of the sword. And yeah, this is, and the horses have the ability to travel ethereally. Sentry has conjured like a huge mass of plant growth the way that you came, trying to hold off one of these riders, but they seem to just vanish in thin air and have not reappeared. One of the spirits was completely destroyed, and now you are just basically in that period where the other one hasn't appeared yet, but it is nearby. And that
we have ready actions.
Yes, you might need to remind me exactly what those are, because I know a bunch of people did prepare some stuff. Those who can remember it.
Mine was just when it shows up, I want to banish the horse, because the momentum this dude has on that horse, that's head chop in action, and I want to stop the horse and banish it completely and have the rider just fall to the ground and maybe break his spine on a tree or something.
Maybe. So Quill has prepared a readied banish on the steed. Nova, I think you had a readied action as well.
I didn't, but Thalia did, and that was to attack when it appears.
With the bow.
It was just after my action, so...
Was there anybody else? I can't remember.
Lucius did.
What was I doing? He remembers what it is. He absolutely... Of course he remembers what it is.
I mean, it was probably a chromatic orb, knowing Lucius.
It's probably
held
an
action.
orb.
Twin chromatic orbs of acid as soon as the rider horse appears on the map 90 feet away.
Bam. There you go. Well, to start it off, there is no rider currently. And it is Ayla's round. Ayla is at the top of the initiative, followed by Nova, followed by Sentry. So Ayla, Nova, Sentry, in that order.
Oh God. Okay. Well, there ain't no rider, so.
Yeah, you saw them vanish just beyond the massive plant growth. They haven't reappeared.
I'm going to just go stand near Sentry.
Okay.
Just now, and I will just hold an action to
Attack.
shoot it if it comes within, or attack if it comes within.
Okay. Do you have your hammer or your bow
I have
out?
to
Because I think you
specify?
pulled.
I have
You
my-
would probably you
I
need to
think-
specify which weapon you're going to attack with. Yeah.
I'm gonna have the hammer out because
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
no, I do have the hammer out because I just threw it.
You attacked.
previously.
Yes, that's right. You threw it. That's right. So
Actually,
you have your hammer out.
I will ready,
in
an
action.
I will ready an action to throw the hammer because then if it's within 60 feet of me, I can hit it. That's my
Perfect.
ready action.
Perfect.
Nice.
So move, ready, action, done. Nova Vija.
I am going to move towards the portal, so I'm just standing in front of it again. Let's see. And I will hold an action. I was thinking about casting Ethereal on this and seeing where it was, but I was like, don't know what to do with that once I see, like, I'll just see him and then I'll be like, hey, he's there. Oh, I'm in the Ethereal plane. What can I do?
Yeah, I mean, if two creatures are on the ethereal plane, you can attack each other if you're both on the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
But
doesn't sound like
casting
fun.
it would be your action, and then you'd be like,
Yeah.
I see you, and then you'd have to wait
And
till
he'd
next
be
time.
like, I see you.
Yes. They would.
So I'm going to ready my action to Eldritch Blast when he appears.
Sure. Okay. Sentry. Still no rider, by the way, throughout all of
Okay.
this.
The last turn I readied my Staggering Smite. So I think I'm going to ready an action as well when he appears, or if he gets within range of me, I will give him the old one too.
Okay. So you're just going to stay where you are and just
Stay where I am.
bring
yeah.
Starbreaker up, ready to attack. All right. After sentries go, a lot of readied actions are about to trigger because appearing from the ethereal plane, the rider and steed appear. Currently now, in fact, they would move ever so slightly, just because the nightmare or the ghostly steed, I should call it, moves into position and then it appears basically at the end of its turn, next to Quill and Nova. Now, Lucius,
God.
I don't think you can see them.
No, I can't.
Because they are behind the tree line, so your readied action won't go off.
Yes.
Anybody else who can see them will. The rider also has a readied action, so this is a lot of readied actions are about to pop
Guess it's
off.
based on dex, right?
These are all these are all happening instantaneously.
Oh,
so all of them are
shit.
going to take place, but they're all going to happen at the same time. So if, like, for example, the steed gets banished, it's not going to affect the rider's attack. It's not going to affect anybody else's stuff. So all of them are going to attack. So we'll just go down. We will start with. I guess it would make sense to start with the people who would be next in the initiative. So it would be Lucius. He can't sadly see the rider on the horse because it's behind this thick tree line. Then it would be Quill's action. So yours would go. We'll do yours next, and then we'll do the riders.
Sure.
Then we'll do Ayla's, Nova's, Sentry's. Well, Sentry's
It's
not
like-
going to get hers because
It's like everyone is
Thalia.
on Overwatch
and
and
Thalia's
XCOM.
as well. Sorry.
All right,
We'll just have
banishment.
Thalia go on your turn, Tim, to make it easy.
Cool. The horse needs to make a charisma save against
Mm-hmm.
banishment.
Charisma saving throw. Oh
And
no,
it be
sorry. That ignore that.
21.
Ignore that roll because that was for the riders.
We can't see it anyway.
charisma.
It's fine.
Oh, nice. Okay, I've got a game log. Change it to everyone. All right, charisma saving throw for the ghostly steed. That's a 9. It is banished.
It's Gonzo.
Now, this is interesting because banishment, if it was not native to this plane that you're currently on, it's kind of permanent. But this isn't a
If I
nightmare,
hold
this
it
is-
for a minute.
If you hold it for a minute. This is a ghostly steed, so technically, yeah, okay. So you still banish it to a demi-plane. So we still see the horse, the nightmare, completely vanishes, falling out from under the rider.
Okay.
I'm just going to put this on the GM. Oh, no, I've put both of them there. But yeah, the ghostly steed absolutely vanishes. The banishment works, basically.
Nice. Oh, and I would have had 2 concentrations, or 3 concentrations, I guess, while holding banishment. So I'll remove my aura of vitality. So everyone still
Thank
has Beacon of
Well
Hope.
remembered, yes. Yeah, holding, if you ready an action to cast a spell, remember it does count as concentrating. Good. Well remembered, Tom Hazel, good boy.
Good boy.
So
Who's a good boy?
So
Me,
we'll do
I
the
am.
The rider's attack. So he readied an attack, and because it's a readied action, he only gets the one. And I think that sort of seeing between Nova and Quill, I will just roll to see which one he would attack, because I don't think he would have made a decision. We'll say evens Nova, odds Quill. Odds, so it's Quill. So this is an
Hard luck,
attack
friend.
with their Vorpal sword.
Oh god.
Oh.
24 to hit.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, that does
but
it.
it's not a crit, which is the big thing to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is going to be 14 slashing damage plus
Okay.
13 necrotic damage, so 27 damage total.
Okay, so I need to
And that's
roll.
concentration.
What do I need to
DC
do?
would be half of 27 would be 10, 13, I think.
13. All right. Well, for the banishment, 20, and for the other one. It was cocked. That's cocked.
It's a digital. It can't be cocked.
All right. Well, yeah, my I've forgotten the name of it again. Yeah, the other one. Beacon of Hope.
Beacon of Hope.
Gone.
Beacon of Hope. All right. So that was the rider's readied action. Ayla, hammer throw.
Okay.
Can you see the target through the
I
tree
can
line?
see him, yeah. I can see him on the
okay.
map.
Nice. If you can see him on the map, you can see him in reality. I think, yeah, you've
That
got like a
is-
little tiny gap that you can see him through.
28 to hit. I've got a tiny gap, but I can still see his
I
bod.
think I can see it as well. That 28 will hit. Yep. Can't do anything about that.
So that's going to be
But I do need the damage separated here because he has resistance to lightning.
20 bludgeoning from the hammer. And
points of bludgeoning.
Then 12 lightning.
So 6 lightning. So you watch as the hammer like flies between these two thick ancient tree trunks. You just watch it kind of vanish into the tree line. You hear it like slam into this undead body, probably knocking him off the horse as it's being banished. And then the hammer flies back to Ayla's hand, slamming back into your hands as done. Perfect. Nova readied action and Thalia readied action. Do Nova's first, then do Thalia's. In fact, actually, don't worry about Thalia's because I have a thing about that.
If I need to concentrate to hold an action, that means the arcane gate is
Is now
Gonzo
gone.
Funzo.
It is.
So
I will
yeah,
remove
that is Dunzo. But my ready action was to Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
It's because he's right next to me. Am I at disadvantage, or
You
is
are,
that
I'm
just
afraid.
outside of?
You are.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So first
Disadvantage on
hit
each one.
is so a 12 or a 15. So that's my first
So
roll.
12. 12 is the lowest, so that's a miss. Kind of dodges to the side.
21 or
Nice.
a 28 on the second
21 will
one.
hit.
That is 14 points of force damage.
Force damage. Yep.
Pew.
So that slams into him.
Yeah, 12.
That's what I was going to miss.
Or a 20 on the third one.
12
so,
unfortunately
yeah, that's
misses.
me.
This one he actually parries. He almost like splits the beam in half with the sword. Kind of watches it blast around him as he kind of and you see that although the horse has been banished from underneath his feet, and he gets hit by this hammer, the rider kind of deftly kind of flips over and lands on his feet as he does so, just soullessly looking around at the enemies around him. On Thalia's turn, Thalia lifts the energy crossbow to take a shot, Nova, and then you glance over and you hear her like, ah! And she reaches down and she's clutching her wrist as the energy crossbow hits the ground. She's like, ah! She's like wincing in pain, crippled by the plane. Sentry, unfortunately, you are not in range for a melee attack, so your readied action would not go off, I'm afraid.
So does my staggering smite go? Because it's concentration.
No, you would still get the staggering smite would
it.
be on the weapon. It's just I think staggering smite triggers on hit, right? So when you hit with a target, then you get to do the staggering smite. So the weapon is charged with the spell, but obviously you just don't have the, you can't make an attack against it. So, but the spell is still ready for the when you do hit. All right, those are all of the readied actions. That was on the Nightmares go. Lucius, it's your turn.
I'm going to see where that hammer went, and also where all the other blasts and spell effect sounds are coming from.
I think he's appeared.
Oh, there he is. Literally moved, sidestep
5
to the
feet.
left. Oh, there. And then I'm going to blast like I did before, but just a single chromatic orb this time, as there's only one now.
Only the one target.
I'll boost it up to level 4. So let's roll that. That's a 19 plus a 12. That's a 31 to hit.
That's an absolute hit. Yep.
And then cheeky little 68 of acid damage, which would be 24 points of acid.
24 points of acid. The orb strikes the creature, and you can see the acid sort of melting parts of its dark leather coat. Looks kind of like one of the hunters from Bloodborne, tricorn hat, leather cloak, and it just begins melting it away. But doesn't react, doesn't cry out in pain or anything like that. Just kind of whips its head around, sort of recognizing this new threat.
I splash him with dichromancy as well, which is in 30 feet of range. For 9 points.
Another 9 points of acid damage. Yeah, love it. So your kind of streak of orange energy flies out and strikes the creature. At the end of your turn, Lucius, I think that this creature is going to start using legendary actions. And
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that to kind of help protect itself, it is going to would it use its... Let me check and see if something is in range here.
Something or someone.
The 10, 15, 20, 30 feet to get to about there. Okay, it can do it. Does he want to push onto Lucius or turn on Quill and Nova? I think for now... Yes?
Aren't the trees like rough terrain?
So the trees are, so I counted, it's basically 20 feet to get there, and then there's like gaps where it's only half, like not trees, it's not fully trees to get there, and then it can push through on the last bit. But in fact, he's not going to do that. The creature just holds up its blade, and you hear this kind of keen ringing sound, this kind of like high-pitched, like somebody's tapped a tuning fork, but it becomes this ear-piercing thing. Quill, Nova, and let me just check if Lucius as well. Yep, Lucius, Thalia and Rose Meadow, and that are just out. So Nova, Quill, Lucius, I need you to make wisdom saving throws, please. This is a fear effect.
Oh, there's no bonus anymore.
One. There's no bonus.
Oh no, I got a nat one as well. You cursed me.
I rolled a 3, but I've got 14.
14 is not enough. All 3 of you are frightened of the rider until the next turn. So that's disadvantage on attacks, and you cannot willingly move closer to it. That is at the end of Lucius's turn.
Closer.
Quill, your turn.
I can't move closer to it. Well, I don't want to move at all, to be honest.
Disadvantage on any attack roll as well, whilst the source of your fear.
I mean, I want this dude away from me, from the fear. So I want to gust him, which is a strength save. And then
cantrip gust.
I want to push him back because I want to get away from him. I want him to fly away anyway. This is what I was going to do even before the fear.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just going to be a straight up strength save.
That doesn't provoke, does it?
Casting a spell, I don't think so. I'll say it doesn't for now. 15.
Nice. He is pushed back 5 feet, and I'll just push him not into
Tom,
Nova.
This is ridiculous, but I kind of want to do it. I'm gonna legendary resistance that.
Gust.
Oh,
He wants that opportunity.
I want the opportunity to swipe at you. So I think he
kill?
plunges. Yeah, this guy wants to kill you guys.
Yeah.
Like that's this guy wants to and he can sense that this spellcaster is he just banished his horse. He's like causing all these troubles. He slams the sword into the ground, and like the blow kind of, the sword keeps him in place as the wind that you summon tries to knock him back, and he just
Cool. I'm into it. I hate him for it, but I'm into it. In that case, I'm gonna. Oh God. I'm gonna shield
Legendary
his
resistance
face.
against a cantrip is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm gonna
He's
shield
only
the
got one
face
left.
myself.
Okay, you're gonna shield faith yourself, bonus action.
And hold.
Hold. Is that the end of your turn?
No, I mean I know he's gonna just wail on me, and I want to get away from him, so I'm gonna try and fly away a bit.
Okay. Attack opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so close to a Tony. 27 is a hit, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Swings
no,
this in a
that'll
big
do it.
two-handed grip. 14 slashing damage, plus 10 necrotic, 24 total.
He wants that healer down.
12 on
DC 12.
concentration.
Mm-hmm.
9 on that would have been the banish. I would have rolled that on, so the horse is back.
Well, you only have Banish up. Remember, you lost Beacon of Hope.
And now Shield of Faith.
Yep.
So,
Oh, you had both, actually, yeah.
yeah, so I have to roll for both anyway.
Okay.
Oh my god, okay, both is gone.
Oh my god.
The
These
steed
rolls tonight. Jesus Christ.
pulls back in.
We've got mark rolls from last week, but yes, I want to
reappearing,
fly backwards.
You do
and
manage
maybe,
to
like,
fly.
20 feet in the air.
You see him like look up, like, damn you. Okay. At the end of your turn, Quill, Nova is actually now.
Hi.
Yeah, because the steed moved away. Nova is the closest creature. Yeah, and he is going to take a 5 foot. He's going to take a 5 foot step towards you, and then just make an attack as his legendary action, the Vorpal Sword. That's a 22.
Yeah.
And that's going to be 8 points of slashing plus 20 necrotic, double 10s on the
God.
2d10. So 28 points of damage. So as this blade is cutting you, by the way, in fact, Nova, has this guy hit you before? I don't think he has he? Has he?
No, I haven't had.
Okay, so this is interesting. So the blade, when it strikes you, Nova, like, there's a couple of things. You would kind of feel this immediately, and more importantly, Tiangong feels this. As the blade cuts you, you first of all recognize that blade is sharper than is humanly possible. It is magically sharp, the way it just kind of almost severs your very energy. Like, it feels like it's like trying to divide your life force. You hear Tiangong in your mind, Nova Vija, there is something about that weapon. I believe. And then that's kind of all he has time to kind of tell you as you're being struck. But you sense that Tiangong feels something odd about that weapon. Okay. That was at the end of Quill's turn, by the way. Now it's the rider's go. Gets legendary actions back. Mm-hmm. Half his movement to remount. You can have an attack of opportunity if you like, Nova Vija.
Oh, I would like that, please.
Yeah, sure.
I can cast a spell as an attack of opportunity, can't I, with Warcaster?
You can cast a cantrip as an attack of opportunity. Not a full spell.
No, it says you can use your reaction to make an attack of opportunity to cast a spell that has a casting time of 1 action and targets only that creature.
Oh, shit. Okay. I thought it was a cantrip. Fair enough.
But it says a spell that can target only that creature. So if it's something that has a radius, I'm guessing, and it's each creature in that 20-foot radius, I'm guessing that's not really.
I guess it's a single target thing. I think that makes sense.
Splash damage or anything.
So I think something like Synaptic Static is a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
It says specifically that targets only that creature, so I don't think I can.
So yes, you can't use it for Fireball or something like that, I would say. Let's have a read here. Warcaster. Focus on the opportunity attack from you can use your action to cast a spell at that creature rather than making an opportunity attack. And a spell must have a casting time of watch action. And you can't cast anything which has a radius. So a single target spell, basically.
Warcaster is
I don't
nuts.
have single.
Warcaster is nuts. It's fucking amazing. I didn't realize it was that good. I thought you could use only cantrips for that opportunity attack. That's crazy good.
Unfortunately, I don't have any single target spells apart from maybe a
Green Flame.
I could scry on him.
Green Flame Blade.
I could blight, but he's undead, so that'll be a waste of time. I will Green Flame him. So I will attack with my sword with Tiangong. but it's at disadvantage because I'm scared.
You are scared.
So that's a 30 on the first hit, 22 on the second hit.
22 still going to hit, even with the fear. Tiangong kind of guides you. Feel like Tiangong, like, let me handle this. And then as it cuts through, Tiangong almost pulls your hand as your own hand is trembling. Tiangong kind of pulls the blade into a strike.
That's 13 points of Tiangong damage. And 11 points of green flame damage.
Yep. Green flame washes over him. You can also do the extra damage for the nightmare. It's a separate creature.
Oh, yeah. Is that a separate D8 then, or should
actually, no. It's immune to fire. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It has green flames for a mane and a tail.
Yeah,
the green flame.
Yeah.
Also, is green flame a single target? This is so confusing.
It is. It technically is. The target of the spell is a single creature, and then it has like an after effect of like, oh, and now I get to do damage to something nearby. It's really dumb. Whereas like synaptic static is a point, and it affects all creatures. I agree. It's kind of stupid. So is a lot of D&D.
Weird. Yeah.
Anyway, that was your opportunity attack. His go. The rider is going to make 2 attacks against you, Nova Vija, and then it will move. No, in fact, it can't move. That's the nightmare's turn. So yeah, it will just attack twice. 2 attacks against Nova Vija. The first one is a 16.
No, that does not hit.
I also just need to check if I don't think I get advantage against you for frightened, but I'm going to double check.
No, you don't.
Because
I have disadvantage on you, but you don't have anything on me.
You don't have it on me.
You've got nothing
17.
on me.
That does not hit.
So both times, Tiangong almost kind of taking over for you as you're like afraid. Tiangong is pulling your arm and like parrying the blows for you, kind of like its own animated sword leaping to your defense. You do hear in your mind, Nova, you would hear I'm not going to do the effects, but you hear I sense the echo of an Eterna. Ayla.
Oh,
Just gloss over that.
interesting.
Well.
I don't think I can quite get to him this turn because of the trees, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's kind of tucked into a part of the trees, just beneath a bit of tree coverage.
I'm gonna just hang out with Lucius, I think, until next turn.
Yeah, I mean, get some protection over Lucius's way. For sure.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna spread us out a little bit, but then hopefully I can grab him next turn, because I just can't get close enough no matter which way I go. I've tried on the map.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are also like, now that you can see he's mounted again, you know that they have a crazy amount of movement if they want to. So
yeah. So I will just ready an action to hit him if he comes within smacking distance of me.
Okay. All right, Nova Vija.
I want to bonus action Hexblade Curse the Rider. So again, I almost imagine that Tiangong, while they're communicating all and kind of directing the battle for me, they zone in on the rider and then just activate this Hexblade Curse. If I move away from the nightmare, am I in its attack of opportunity range? Is it?
And his.
Okay. Okay.
Remember, he's had a turn since he made the attack against Quill, so he has his reaction back.
But I can't melee attack him, can I?
You can, you're just at disadvantage. Yeah, you just have disadvantage because you're frightened. I forgot, by the way,
Actually,
those of you who were frightened, you can make a saving throw at the end of your turn. So Quill, you would have got a save at the end of your turn against them.
Oh, is that wisdom?
Yes, if you can just do that. That's DC 15.
25.
You are no longer frightened.
Awesome.
I would like to cast Synaptic Static to encompass both the horse and the rider.
Yeah, I think you can pull that off, like if you put it behind him.
Yeah. It is a 20-foot radius sphere.
You can do that without targeting
so
anybody.
could you make me an intelligence saving throw DC 18, please?
I can. Let me do it for Le Rider first. This is going to be a failure. Oh, a 19. Maybe not. That's a natural 19.
Yeah, so that's a pass. And then
That's a pass. And then the horse is a 6. The ghostly steed.
So the horse is muddled now. And also, where's the chat log gone? What? I can hear a dice roll. Oh, the dice is glitched on my screen, so it's like stuck on top of each other and was rolling forever.
We can see it.
But that is
28 psychic
28
damage.
points.
So the horse, the ghostly steed takes all of that, and he takes half of that, 14.
Oh, and the rider will take +5 from my Hexblade Curse
And
as
then
well.
another 5 from your Hexblade Curse. Lovely. Perfect.
And the horse is now muddled.
This kind of blast of energy, this psychic energy. The ghostly horse is like, it's like neighing. He's trying to keep it under control. But yeah, the rider is still in action.
I rolled a 15 on my wisdom save. Am I still frightened?
You are no longer frightened. But that's the end of your turn, right?
Yes.
At the end of your turn, the rider is going to use their legendary action, Headhunt. The rider moves up to its speed or its mounts without provoking opportunity attacks.
Oh god, it's going for Lucius.
Yeah, sees a little man on his own. He's going to keep away from Ayla, kind of avoiding
He's on
that.
his own.
I'm
He has
above average
friends. I
height.
came here to be friends. No.
He knows that with the way that the actions are going to play out, he can make an attack against Lucius and then run away again. So yeah, he just dives toward doing the classic Sleepy Hollow, kind of like just almost phasing through the trees as he does so, and then brings this
Lucius
awful
is
sword.
terrified.
You should be.
The classic
So this is I make
scream.
a Vorpal sword attack with advantage, and if this hits but is not a critical hit, it does extra damage. So that's an 8 versus 17 is the highest I got. I think that's still a hit.
hits.
So it's still a hit,
20,
not
though.
a crit. That's the difference. So you're going to take a bunch of damage here, I'm afraid, Lucius. That's going to be 14 slashing, followed by 6 necrotic, so 20 damage, and then another 68 slashing damage
Oh, what?
for another 30. So that's 50 points of damage. And just kind of cuts, and you managed again to kind of like bring your arms up or like tuck your body, and it causes this heavily deep slash that just gashes through your bone and your flesh, but it doesn't take your head off as it manages to do that. But that's all 3 of its legendary actions.
Crazy.
Sentry.
Okay. Do some counting. 25, 30. Fantastic. I'm gonna bonus action Misty Step 30 feet and move 30 feet. I can get to here. And I'm going to give this rider what for.
With the reach of Starbreaker. Starbreaker is reach.
Okay. So I'm gonna let's go.
I forget, like
16.
16 just. Are you hitting the rider or the steed?
The rider.
That just barely hits.
Oh yes! Yes!
Just barely.
Okay.
Literally bang on the AC.
Incredible.
Pretty bad.
Okay. I'm gonna roll some dice, and then I've got. I think you need to make a wisdom saving throw for me as well, please. But I'll get to that in a second.
Roll the damage because I'm pretty sure you're going to KO this guy, which means that any additional effect isn't going to take effect on its new form. So
Nice.
So I've got. Let's see. 2. Okay, so I did 2d12, 5d8, 4d6, and 1d4.
Oh my god.
unfortunately, this is going to be a lot of extra damage, I feel. But
45.
Jesus Christ, 45
Plus
points
7.
of damage.
52.
50 points of damage. So you watch as again Starbreaker spinning with like swirling with spiral energy punches through this creature's chest. But you've seen this before. You did this to the exact last one as well. Its chest breaks, its bones turn to dust, and it leaves behind this kind of spectral green spirit inhabiting the outfit and the armor, still clutching the blade instead, as its mythic action is going to trigger. It instead will change this, and you hear the howling. You hear this as the hounds once again begin to emerge.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let me just grab some hounds.
That was like, what, 3 hounds appeared last time?
3 hounds, yep.
and he turns into like a
Basically,
green
he
ghosty
regains
boy.
some hit points. Yeah, he becomes like ghostly, but he basically keeps the same stats. So all three of these hounds are going to surround Sentry, Ayla, and Lucius.
Do
Oh
I
my
technically
God.
get HP back for my Hexblade curse, or is it after his next?
So
phase?
what does it say on Hexblade? Is it when you reduce a creature to 0 hit points, or is it when a creature dies?
you
wording.
regain 21 hit points if it dies.
All right, it's not technically dead yet. It was reduced to 0
I mean,
hit
it
points,
was
kind of
already
like a
dead.
half. Yeah, it's kind of already dead. It's kind of like a half orc, right? Like it has a thing that triggers
Yeah.
when it hits 0, and then it basically regains hit points and comes back.
Cool.
So the 3 hounds appear. It regains 97 hit points. What else happens?
97?
The
bit.
hunters. I forgot this last time.
little bit.
The hunters act immediately now. So all 3 of the hounds also now get to go as they kind of summon into the air. They're going to make an attack against Lucius, Ayla, and Sentry individually.
Can I protect Lucius?
You absolutely can. Yes.
Yay.
So Sentry, a savage bite against you. This is probably going to miss. It does. 12, not a miss.
Okay.
Disadvantage on the attack against Lucius. This is a tracking bite. So with disadvantage, the lowest here is going to be a 12, which is also a miss.
Yay.
And then Ayla, the hound biting you, it has like this ooze, this poisonous ichor dripping from its mouth. This is a putrid bite. That's a 16. I believe that is also a miss. These hounds like don't seem particularly strong. They're kind of, they spring into life to defend their master, but
Still.
bite.
Great
as it
protection.
does.
Awesome.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Sentry, it's still your go. That literally happened in between attacks. So
Good lord.
Could you make a whiz saving throw for me, please, for staggering smite?
So that would have triggered on that first attack. This is basically the effect won't trigger because the creature dies, the staggering smite is used up, and then it comes
Okay.
back to life,
Oh,
unfortunately.
he does die.
Cool.
Well,
Yeah,
it
it
is destroyed and then rejuvenates. All right. Shut up, you.
All right, I'll make a second attack.
Yes.
27 for the next one.
Yes. I mean,
Oh my
fucking-
God.
Jesus Christ. I just roll every dice you own.
3.
Yeah.
roll
No
on
staggering
dice.
smite on this one, though, unfortunately, because it's
No.
already spent. Still divine smite.
4d8, but that's 5 because he's undead.
It's undead.
Right.
Indeed. Undead indeed.
1, 2, and that.
No. So dead and dead again.
51,
Fucking Christ.
58.
Good gosh.
Over half its health
Yeah.
remaining.
The holy energy of the Matrix just like rips through this creature's form.
You've outstayed your welcome here on this plane.
Oh, cool badass line too.
Does double damage now because of that.
1d12
Emotional
from a badass
damage.
line.
Yes!
Yeah. Is that the end of your turn, Sentry?
Yeah, that is. Yep, that's everything.
Okay. All right. The nightmare carrying its rider is going to become ethereal as its action, and then it's going to move away. Run away! Where's it going to go?
That's spooky.
Oh, too many scary enemies. Oh, those are some people that look like they could be killed. It just becomes ethereal, and then you don't see it. It vanishes. Lucius.
Damn it,
All
Sentry,
right.
you scared it away.
Well, Lucius was gonna run, but it's disappeared from it now. So the frightened thing doesn't really. Does it count for his hounds?
So it doesn't
don't
count
have
for the
to run,
hounds,
you
no,
just
and
might get
as because
closer.
you are not frightened because the target of your fear is not visible. So the frightened effect is basically null until it comes back.
All right.
You still get to
would,
save against it.
would Lucius be frightened? I've got Aura of Courage. Does that cancel out his frighten?
What does it do? I'm assuming it makes people just can't be frightened.
Yeah, well, you and friendly creatures within 10 feet can't be frightened.
I would say as long as he stays within 10 feet of you, the fear effect is just not applied. If he moves 10 feet away, that fear could come back because it is a supernatural fear.
Okay, cool.
But it's basically nullified as long as he's next to you. So,
Lucius is.
I mean, being
going
next to Sentry is probably smart because you did basically save him from that bite beforehand as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to cast Armor of Agathis on myself at 4th level, so that's 20 temp HP. I'm going to do that as a quicken spell with 2 sorcery points and disengage and hide behind Big Sentry.
Yep, I love it. Quicken spell, action to disengage, move behind Sentry. I love it.
Thank you, Sentry. Thank you, Ada.
Big moves. End of turn, Lucius. You all done?
Yes.
Okay. The hounds will go, and 2 of them are going to basically make attacks against Sentry, and then the last one's going to attack Ayla. So this is a savage bite against Sentry. That's a natural 20. Why do I fucking roll that on the hounds? I'm not.
No, they've got Vorpal teeth.
They've got vorpal teeth. They bite your throat out. This is going to be a fair bit of damage. This is going to be 1d6. So
The teeth are also a turner.
So 10 piercing damage plus 12. 20 necrotic damage, Sentry. So the hound kind of like bites into your flesh. You can actually feel its like teeth kind of draining the life force out of you. The next one is the tracking bite from the tracking hound. That's only a 15, so it's going to miss. And then the last one is going to attack Ayla for a 24, just barely hits. That's going to be 3 points of damage, Ayla, half to 1 because you're raging. And then can you make a Constitution save, which I'm absolutely sure you're not going to pass?
24.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this thing bites your ankle,
Plus
and you're just
10,
like,
boo-boo.
yeah, it's just like whatever.
God, I'm gonna have to heal Ayla after that.
Chomp, 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 chomp. Healer Cad Kalar.
Nice. I've got 50 feet of flying, so I'm going to get like in amongst this tree line, in between everybody, to a point where I can see everybody. And I want to do a 7th level Mass Cure Wounds.
Holy crap.
Yummy.
Everyone's feeling pretty bad at the moment, me included. So I'm still 20 feet in the air, by the way.
Remember, no beacon of hope, though, Tom.
No beacon of hope, no. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Take that aura off you, actually.
5d8 plus 6.
Oh, can I make a save?
Yes, you can, Lucius. Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, technically, you might as well. You should make
6.
one anyway.
It's okay. Well, after this spell, it'll be gone anyway.
Cool.
So you get
that's true,
healed for 23 plus 6, 29. Everybody in 60 feet, I believe. 60? Yes, 60 feet. Not everybody. 6 people.
Does it
Someone.
hit? If any of Thalia's lot need healed and they're within range, then they can take 1.
They don't.
Because I don't.
None of them took damage.
None of them.
All right. Well, in that case, me, Nova, Lucius, Sentry. Big Cat, I think, has taken a hit, maybe.
Big Cat did take a hit, so Big Cat will take it. I also, I'll have Big Cat make an attack against that dog next to Ayla, because I forgot to add Big Cat to the initiative.
Yes,
So.
29 healing to anyone that takes it, and
Nice.
also, I imagine the fear is below 7th level, so that will also be Gonzo too.
Yeah, it's not a spell, but it is a magical effect, and I would say that this creature's effects are below 7th level in power. Like, that's kind of me having to gauge it a little bit, but yeah, the fear effect is not going to be powerful enough to be
Nice.
resistant to the Spellbreaker. So yeah, cool.
That's me. That's my turn.
Cool. Can you make an attack as Big Cat, please, Tom? Can you just do it against that hound? I don't know if you still got his stats up somewhere.
Oh, I do not have his stats up. I'll roll a d20.
It's fine. I can get the crank.
It's a 12 plus.
I think he had a plus
12.
5.
Plus 5, yep. So 17 is enough to hit the hound.
For how much damage though?
We'll make this a bite, which is 1d10 plus 3.
1d10 plus 3. All right, I've got his stats up now as well.
You can do that just next time.
Yeah.
Just have him go on after your turn.
1,
basically.
so 4 damage.
4 points of damage. Hey, it's still something. We'll
It's
just have Big Cat go after your turn in the future.
Yeah.
Cool. End of your turn, Quill.
That's me. That's the lot.
All right. The rider in the ethereal plane is going to ready an action. And then we go to Ayla. He's going to wait for the nightmare to bring him out of the ethereal plane. So,
Since the rider isn't here, I guess I'm going to attack the hound that's next to me to just get it
smoosh.
out of the picture, hopefully. That is going to be a 17 plus 14. 15 on the hammer,
I can't
plus
wait
3
to
lightning.
have a camera on physical map. Just thinking about it now.
Gonna get his Xbox controller out. He'll be like, no.
Zoom in on that.
15 bludgeoning plus 3 lightning for the first.
So 18 damage. I mean, the hound, like, it's kind of spectral. You see a good chunk of its spectral form kind of dissipate, still there, but heavily weakened.
I will hit it again then. That is going to be a 7 plus 14 to hit.
Yes. Yes. It was, I'm pretty sure it's dead.
Same again, 15 on the hammer.
Yes,
and
it's dead.
3... Okay, I'll stop.
Blast of lightning causes the hound to just evaporate into spectral mist.
I think because the other hound is within 10 feet of me.
It is. Yes.
He can take my blast of aura damage.
Blast.
Whatever.
I started blasting. Dex saving throw. 2.
Yep.
Yeah, 1 plus 1.
23. I rolled
Jesus.
2 6s in that.
And then
23
you get
lightning
your con mod
damage.
as well. So blam, yeah, this blast of lightning kind of as you slam the hammer into the ground against the first one, the lightning sort of travels through the earth and then erupts up into the face of the second, nearly throwing it backwards. End of turn, Ayla. Anything else you would like to do? You got movement?
I don't think so at the moment because I don't know where this guy's going to appear.
Okay, sure.
So I'm just going to try and help
take your best guess.
Sentry with
Sentry with these
I
dogs.
might just try and help Sentry with these dogs.
Shift over 1. Sure.
Yeah.
Nova Vija.
So Nova hasn't really got a good view of what happens since the rider kind of went off to the other side of the thicket of trees. But I think she's going to think that it's all fine because, like, the rider, you know, Sentry did her glowy
You heard,
thing,
like...
and yeah. I heard sounds of a guardian powering up. So I'm going to address my immediate concern, which is 5,
blast of
10,
lightning.
15, 20, 25, 30. Running over next to Thalia and, you know, just being, are you okay? What's happening? What's happening? And just, you know, massively fussing over
like
her.
you see her like clutching her forearm and you can see that briar tattoo is nearly spread sort of past the elbow joint now, and she's just like, and she's just like, I can't, it hurts, and she's just like wincing in pain. Basically, she's not paralyzed by it, but she can't physically hold the crossbow because this thing is, you know, causing her too much pain. I'm
gonna hold her hands and hold her face and just try and calm her down, be like, it's okay, I'm here, and that's gonna be my turn.
She kind of, at the end of your turn, like she breathes in a few times, and then she seems to be able to like flex her fingers, and she's like, okay, I think the pain's gone. That is the point.
That pain for you.
Well, that's the point, Nova, when the nightmare is gonna fade back into existence. And it appears right in front of you and Thalia.
Yep.
It just kind of like, whoosh, and you can see the rider was already aiming at Thalia. Do you want to basically, because you were kind of, I was saying you were like kind of like crouching over, do you want to basically take the place of Thalia? Because this sword is coming for Thalia, basically.
Don't even finish your sentence. It's a yes.
Right, this is a readied action then for the rider. Makes 1 Vorpal sword attack. 17 plus 9, 26 though. Still going to hit.
Oh,
Still a hit.
so close every time.
So close every time. That's 14 slashing damage plus 16 necrotic for 30 points of damage total. And yeah, it materializes in front of you. Sentry.
I imagine Sentry can see this going off, right? I think just past the trees, I can see.
If you can
Nova
see their tokens,
and the
if you can
rider.
see Nova and the rider and stuff, you do see like this thing just materialize out of like the ethereal plane, swing the blade down, and it catches Nova like across the back, nearly, you know, striking her neck, and she like winces in pain.
Yeah, Sentry just like scream Nova, and then like try and get through these 2 dogs.
Yeah, you just want to like like charge through them. I mean, they'll
Charge
get
through
attacks
these
of opportunity,
dogs, yeah.
but like, I don't think that's really a problem for
Take them
Sentry.
with you. Deal with them later.
Just drag them.
Come on.
All right,
Just pick one up
True
under
tank.
each arm.
15,
Doesn't hit.
followed by 23.
Yeah, that hit.
All right, this is a tracking bite, so you are going to take 5 points of damage plus you are marked until the end of the hound's next turn. Whilst marked, another hound or a rider can consume the mark to make their next attack with advantage. So you have like this thing is with you, and there's like some sort of supernatural sense that like you see the rider's head like whoosh, whip around. This ghostly humanoid figure wearing this dark leather coat is just like locked onto you now.
That is cool as hell.
Awesome.
Right, but yeah, you can move. Like those are the two attacks opportunities. So go nuts.
I'm just gonna move as far as I can, just there, just like screaming, Nova, Nova.
That's your move. Do you want to dash as your action? Do you want to do anything? Do you want to do anything else?
I can dash 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I can get there with a dash.
Okay, nice. So you're just like
barreling through these dogs.
Yeah, for sure. So like you've got the lance, you've got Starbreaker Rays, but not quite enough movement to get there.
Yeah.
At the end of your turn, Sentry, Rider's gonna use a legendary action. It's gonna make another attack, I think, against no, it will make an attack against you actually, and it's gonna consume the mark. It's gonna consume the mark against Sentry to roll with advantage.
Cool.
Yep. It's got reach because it's mounted.
Tango.
Tom Hazel. I've rolled 1.
I know I haven't got any portents left. I can't.
Yeah, he's done.
Can't help with this.
22 to hit. That's my highest. It hits, but no Vorpal effect. That's going to be 13 slashing plus 10 necrotic, 23 points of damage. So it just kind of whips the sword around. You do see that as it's mounted, this sword seems to grow even longer, like increasing its reach.
He's lying?
Lucius is going to deal with the dogs in front of him, so he's going
now
to...
the sentry has abandoned you.
He's going to do that classic thing, which he always does, which is move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then he's going to use Tasha's Caustic Brew, which is a beam of acid in a straight line. I'm going to do that at...
This is more like Lucius's beam of acid.
Beam of acid, yeah.
Sure.
All right, so it's a dex save, please, for Houndies.
All right, dex save for both of these doggos. Fail, and that's a 7 and a 16. Both fail.
Hell yeah. So that's... it's not great, but it's 10d4, and ones are 2s because of acid.
Sure. Might roll high.
That's pretty powerful, actually, on D4s.
Oh, they're still wobbling. There we go.
There's a couple of ones.
There's a lot of ones. Okay, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 points of acid for both of them.
One of the hounds evaporates. The tracking hound that hits Sentry
Excellent.
just evaporates. And then the other one is heavily, heavily wounded.
Well, that's 10 more points of acid from Dichromancy on him.
Then he dies. They had 8 hit points left. So both hounds, Lucius, this beam of orange light just cascades over them, and you just watch their spectral forms melt away.
Just bring both hands together like a Hadouken.
Like a Kamehameha. I love it. Nice. All right, end of turn, Lucius. You got anything else?
I'm going to, what was that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, heading back towards Ayla and Big Cat, but not quite making it. And that's the end of my turn.
End of your turn, the rider's going to make another normal, just a regular attack with a legendary action. Second one. This is against Nova this time. No advantage. Natural 1. What are you going to say, Kim?
I was going to do my Armor of Hexes, so I don't know if you want to take that or not.
I mean, yeah, absolutely, you still do it, but it doesn't matter. It misses anyway. So
yeah,
because it's a reaction to use it.
It's a reaction to use it, so let's just say
you wouldn't have known it was going to be a natural 1. So yeah, I would say that you used it.
Yeah.
I should have asked you if you wanted to do anything. I keep forgetting you've got that. That is at the end of Lucius's turn. We go to Quill.
Cool. All right, I am going to probably just stay where I am actually, because I want to at 4th level. Guiding bolt this guy.
Oh.
It's been a long time, my precious bitch.
Apparently, armor effect is Kim only effective on a hit, so it's only when a creature hits you, so you wouldn't have used it.
Oh, nice.
Okay, cool.
Precious bitch.
I mean,
I love it. I love my guiding
who the fuck are you, bitch?
So Let's see if I hit. Wham! 20. Unnatural 20.
Nice.
20 hits.
And what is it plus? It's an extra d6. So 4, 5, 6, 7 d6 of radiant damage.
Wow.
Radiant damage.
Awesome.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there any bonus to him being undead for radiant? No.
Not all undead creatures are vulnerable to radiant damage. Some are, but not
It's
all.
not Pokemon, Tom.
21 damage. It kind of is.
21.
21
points of damage.
And anyone has advantage to hit him next turn.
The next attack has advantage.
The next attack, yeah. And I'll stay 20 feet in the air because I think I just luckily avoided that caustic brew from Lucius.
Yes.
being in the air.
I assumed you were flying. So.
That's 30 feet.
Okay. Seeing as he missed last time,
That's
the
fine.
last legendary action, the rider is just going to make another sword attack, a vorpal sword attack against Nova, and see if he hits this time. Nope, 3, 12. Miss. You just kind of
Wow.
like dodging to the side, Tiangong kind of parrying for you, kind of ting, 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 ting. But that is at the end of Quill's turn. Then the rider takes their actual turn. They can't do that because that's a legendary. They could do in that next time. I'll do that as a now they've got their things back. So yeah, they're going to make one attack against Nova, one attack against Sentry. So we'll do an attack against Sentry first. That's him. That's a miss. 1, 2, 3, and 4 so far. And then against Nova, that's probably a hit. 24. So do you want to activate Armor of Hexes?
It's a 3, so you hit.
I still hit. Okay. So this is just a normal hit though. 14 slashing plus 10 points of necrotic, 24 total. That is the rider's turn. He can't move until his mount's turn. So Ayla.
Hello.
This guy's
I
just
currently
running
can't-
around.
Yeah, I can't see him on the map right now, so I have no idea
Yeah.
where he even is.
Well, you know where Sentry ran off
I know
to. You know
roughly.
that they're south. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you can see me, and
So-
also I blasted a guiding bolt. If
true.
anything, we'll tell you where it is. It's a
Sure.
guiding bolt.
Pretty-
Oh, I can
pretty
see
true.
if I move 5. Fine. I still can't get to him, so
These
I'm gonna
foes with high speed are like definitely a problem for Ayla because they can just run
I'm gonna
away.
annoyingly move here, and I'm just gonna shoot a couple times with my bow because
Yeah,
he keeps
I mean, pull the
moving
bow out.
around.
Yeah, makes sense, right? Like it's
If I
you've
get
got
to him,
magic
I'll just be
arrows, haven't
standing
you?
there.
Yeah, you've got
Have I
magic
got-
arrows,
I-
haven't you?
Do I still have? I think I still have some. Hang on, let me check.
I think you have some. I don't think you've got many.
Yes, I
left.
do.
I think you got
I've got
like 10 or
16.
so. 16. Okay, nice.
In my inventory, so I'll
Yeah, right.
do that. That is 16 plus 10, so 26 to hit.
It's yep.
And it's plus 2 arrows that I have, so
Yep. So
I do
plus
a-
two
You get
extra
advantage
damage.
as well from guiding
You
bolt.
Oh,
can
I get
have
advantage.
on the Golden Bolt. Yep. See if you get the crit.
it wasn't a crit, it was a 2. So,
I think barbarian crits are only on melee attacks as well.
so 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 damage on that one.
13
and then
points
I
of damage.
Will
Yep, and it is magical damage.
roll again.
So the
for
arrow
next
kind of like
hit.
thuds into its chest.
21 to hit on the second,
That hits.
which will be not much damage, unfortunately. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage.
9 points of damage. You can see that this ghostly spirit is just barely there. This faint whisper of a creature that still remains. Anything else, Ayla?
I got nothing else, I'm afraid.
At the end of your turn, I'm going to use its very last legendary action for this combat. I'm going to use Headhunt, and this is going to be a Vorpal sword attack with advantage. And I think it's going to be against Nova for the ultimate
He's made
drama.
so many attacks, like that he hasn't had a 20.
It's gonna happen.
So lucky.
Don't
That
say
was
it,
a
Tom.
16 that went to a 3.
Ugh.
Okay.
13 plus 9, 22 still hit. But not 20.
I kind of want it to happen. I don't, but I do.
Me too.
No!
Well, this is still going to be a lot of damage, Nova. So that's 7
Yeah.
slashing plus 16 necrotic. So do that first. That's going to be 23 points of damage. And then it does
Yep.
another 68. But do that first. Now take another 19 slashing damage as this thing like carves along your back, and it just lets out this like wailing screech, just like as it cuts through you. And then it's your turn.
And
I'm gonna do something very foolish.
I love it.
And as a bonus action, I'm gonna cast Compelled Duel, and this action is fueled by RP because it's attacking my girl, and I'm not having it.
It wants to. It's
So-
trying to get to Thalia and Rosemeadow, but you're there kind of as a warrior, that, and Sentry now as well. But yeah, absolutely. All right, so Compelled Duel.
It might fail anyway, but having gotten all these attacks, Nova's gonna raise Tiangong and go, "Come at me!" just like desperate and ragged. And if you could make me a Wisdom saving throw,
Sure can.
16,
That's a 10.
probably
fail.
pass it. Okay,
Fail.
so you must attack me. Basically, you have disadvantage on attack rolls against anyone else, and there's a whole bunch of
love
other
it.
stuff. But
That's really cool.
in the meantime, I am going to raise
That was bonus
Tiangong
action.
and... Yeah, that was my bonus action. I'm going to slash you with Tiangong.
Mm-hmm.
Please hit. That is a 24 to hit.
That hits.
That is 13 plus 5, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 points of
How does Nova finish this guy off?
slashing.
Oh.
Yes.
I think having just drawn his attention and
Yeah,
feeling
you watch,
everyone
like-
behind her, yeah, it's just almost like a slow motion Tiangong. It's all Tiangong, basically, like zoning in and just a clean cut across.
So you watch as it
His
kind
head.
of slices across like the neck. The creature just sort of begins to fade and diminish. The head doesn't decapitate or anything like that. Instead, we watch as the creature's spirit begins to fade, but then its armor and even the blade it's carrying, they almost seem to be pulled inside the spirit like a little miniature black hole. And you just hear this kind of like, and then it just whisks, fast as lightning. It just vanishes, this mist, into the woods, similar to how the first one disappeared. Just seems to become wind and just vanishes. The nightmare, everything goes, just all vanishes completely.
Awesome.
As that cut completes its arc, can I just have a spark of green travel down Tiangong and back into Nova as she heals from the Hexblade curse?
Oh, nice.
I love it. And then that is going to be us out of initiative there, folks.
Oh,
Ayla just runs towards him, finally gets there with the hammer, and is like, "For God's sake!"
And tiny little
he
Nova
around
just appears
here?
on the other side.
oh my God. Hey, how is everyone looking though? Because Nova, I imagine,
Bad.
is not looking great.
I was
Yeah.
on 10 hit points.
Sentry took some pretty big strikes as well, I think.
Not
And
too
Lucius
bad.
too. Okay.
But yeah,
I know Lucius probably
Sentry's
looks a
gonna do
bit
a
beat
big
up,
round
although you did
healing,
heal
I
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Glass
I
half
am
full kind
full
of guy.
health.
Yeah.
Because I was running about like a freaking idiot the whole time, just like,
Yeah.
please let me hit you.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I can. Yeah. I think between.
It did mean
me
that
and
they weren't
Sentry-
hitting Ayla. That's the thing. All your
That's
hit
true.
points don't mean a lot when it's like, I cut your head off. Lol.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, hit points don't matter
imagine-
if you can take your head off.
Imagine if he had one shot on Ayla and it was the 20, and it was just like, yep, see ya.
206 hit points.
I will tell you this:
Off
there
you
is
go.
like there is a saving throw involved, so it's not
Oh, there
just
is
a
there?
if I roll a 20. Yeah, I mean, and so it means that it's quite easy to save. But
Okay.
and anybody can
I
roll a
didn't know
1.
that. I thought it was straight up dead.
No, it's there is a saving throw involved, but you'll learn more about that maybe in the future. You guys all kind of like rush together. Rosemeadow is basically just like holding Kyrie and is like protecting her, like she's protecting Kyrie with her body. They're kind of like crouched on the ground. Thalia is kind of like rubbing her forearm and is just kind of like wincing and like looking around. And she's like looking up at Nova, sort of like hands on her sort of like, side, sort of like making sure that she's okay. Like, are you okay? Like, Quill, she's hurt. Like, Nova's cut bad. Like, you need to come and help.
Yeah. Nova, come here, and don't duel things when there's a giant sentry right next to you.
Giant Sentry looks down.
That
at
was
you.
the point.
I was on my way. And you made it do that.
That was the tactical thought. If he was facing me, Ayla and Sentry would have his flank. And he wasn't looking at them, and more importantly, he wasn't looking at Thalia, Rosemeadow, or Kyrie. I'm
Okay.
fine.
Heroic. Very.
I knew you'd
Heroic.
have me. I knew all of you would have my back.
Is everybody
They're gone
okay?
now, right?
Lucius runs over eventually.
Yeah, big
They're
cat comes
gone.
over as well.
They are gone. They are, I think, all gone. I mean,
Good.
they vanished into the air. I think that's them dealt with.
My armor of Agathis explodes.
You
off
hear
me.
a voice. You hear a voice. All of you hear Tiangong, by the way. I do not believe that will be the last we see of them. Their energy
No?
has dissipated. No.
What? They come back?
I believe that those things are beyond just normal spirits. The weapons they carried, they were echoes of Eterna. They had Eterna energy.
Oh,
Any idea of roughly how much time they need to, come back?
I'm afraid I do not know that, Ayla. But I do believe that, given the nature of their departure, they will return. Their work is not finished. I sensed something. When Nova captured the energy of that last one, they are driven for a purpose. Zarkira created them for a purpose.
in that case,
Bound.
can you sense any Eterna nearby, or can you use that to track where they are?
I'm afraid, Kilek Adkalar, that to make a comparison, it is similar to an undead creature of a humanoid. They are no longer Eterna, but rather echoes of them. The Eterna life source, once held within those weapons, has vanished. It has left behind a vacuum. It has left behind a power that can sever life rather than grant it. Wraiths. Eterna wraiths. Of something of that nature.
Oh, good. That's a new wonderful thing to discover exists.
Indeed.
Well, let's make the most of this situation. We need to find the people here in the forest now that we have this chance that we're not going to be pursued by these spirits for at least a time. We could try and track them.
We can. I think we need to move now. We don't know how long we have.
Is everyone ready to move now?
How are we all feeling?
Yes.
Anybody need any
Nova needs
healing?
healing.
Yes.
Did you heal Nova, by the way? Because Thalia's like, Nova needs healing.
Yeah. If you can, that would be incredible, Sentry.
Save your magical energy, Quill.
Thank you.
I'll give Nova. Let's give her 40.
40 hit points. Yeah.
Thank you.
So the matrix energy flows into you, Nova, and you see, all your cuts and wounds and things like that do knit back together. There's still like gashes and slices in like your clothing and stuff like that, but the wounds themselves are healed. Still raw, still red and sore, but no longer bleeding and no longer sort of life-threatening.
How are you, Lucius? Are you okay?
Oh, fine.
Sure? Do you not need anything?
Oh. No, don't trouble yourself. Let's get a move on.
I'll give Lucius 20. Anyway. I'll poke him with my finger.
It's just,
Sentry. Thank you.
sort of Rosemeadow and Kyrie sort of like peek up like, oh my god, is it okay? Is it safe?
It is safe.
For now.
It is safe. For now.
For now.
Let's make the most
now.
of it. Let's keep tracking and looking and
All right.
find whatever we can find.
Okay. That
I'm
seems
so
like
good at
a
tracking.
perfect break point.
It
as
does.
you guys begin tracking your way. So we're going to take a quick break.
How was that
Oh.
so quick?
Yeah,
That's
well,
because
it's a
that
good
was an
fight.
intense,
It's a good
intense fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a fight. And you know what?
Before-
That was tough, fighting one of them individually. Nova gating one of them away.
Yeah.
God, that would have been
That would
brutal.
be real ropey.
Yeah.
I will also say this. Last week, I was very mentally exhausted and I was not playing them as smart as I could have been. Like, having them, like, go back into the ethereal plane mid-combat, I should have been doing that last week and they weren't doing that last week. I
still.
just let them get smacked around.
Okay.
So they should have basically been, like, running in, like, appearing from the ethereal plane, attacking, and then the
disappearing.
next round disappearing again and,
Oh
like,
my
moving
God.
around. These
Doing the
guys are
raps.
pretty scary. Like, yeah.
Also, you were rolling
They
like
were, yeah.
garbage last
I was
week.
rolling like garbage last week.
Yeah.
And again,
Came
like,
back this
I
week.
mean, obviously that natural 20 is super scary, but like these guys still pack a punch even on normal
Yeah.
hits. Like they
certainly
still
do.
Yeah, that was
like 20, 30
that could have
damage a
very
hit.
easily been a devastating fight, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah.
We
It wasn't.
managed to get through it.
Very smart tactics. And also, if you do have to fight them again, you guys kind of know how they operate now, so you can try and figure out how can we keep Ayla close to them, and how can we prevent them from vanishing into the ethereal plane and stuff like that.
Have they learned about portals though?
Armor.
But at the same time, Nova, you don't think that trick's going to work again.
Yeah. No, it's not going to work, guys.
Cool. All right.
Before we go to break super quick, can I show a little surprise for a special boy? Chris Trott, can I have your face up on screen, please? Have everyone's face up on screen. This turned up during the episode happening.
No.
It is your camera, your very special camera. It was just made me laugh during the bit where you were like, I wish I had that camera that spins around and does that. And this literally turned up during that fight. So there you go, Chris Trott, you special little boy. It's here.
Oh, I can't wait.
Thank you, husband, Kim's husband, for probably getting that as well, and bringing it in. Bless. Nice, amazing.
Be careful with that.
Don't drop it. All right, Tommy's going to read some donations, I think.
I am indeed.
All right, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be back in 5 minutes, everyone.
Indeed.
You can stick around if you want to listen to Tom read stuff out.
Right. Hello, everyone. It's me, your boy, the donation reader. And before I read the donations, I just want to do a quick mention of the Patreon, which is doing wonderfully recently and is a very, very important way a very great way to support High Rollers on a consistent basis. And if you haven't checked it out, or you aren't a supporter on Patreon at the moment, we have started putting videos out, or there is one video out at the moment of me awkwardly doing some kind of vlog thing talking about a studio update. So if you want to see studio updates on Patreon, we have started doing those. And I think you'll enjoy them. So go check out the Patreon. That would be amazing. But I'm going to read some donations now, starting with some donations that came in just after the last episode. So these might be a little bit out of date. But Sylvia Dragon, I thought it said Dragoon, Sylvia Dragon donated $250. And they say, sadly, I'm part of the VOD squad and missed the big fundraiser due to work. But I figured I could still donate here and on Patreon to show my support for my favorite D&D podcast. Thank you. Here is to the next few years of adventures in your new studio. Indeed. Snow Gnome has donated as well. This was last week. Thank you very much. Sun Tiger, just before this stream, I say just before, 10 hours before the stream, but still, today, donated a full hundo. Sun Tiger 745. Thank you very much. Now that payday has come around, here is my contribution to the studio fund. You have provided many awesome, tearful, and funny moments over the years, and I hope for many more. Take care and all the best. Thank you very much. And they were before the stream. I need to do a big refresh. Let's see. Where are we? Where we at? Frenchie donated with, last time I donated, I asked Mark a tough question about DMing. Since then, I watched a lot of his videos on YouTube and learned a lot. I took a hiatus in watching at episode 108 during senior year bachelors. Now I'm rewatching the campaign at episode 15, now in masters. Amazing. Oh, what was that noise? Did you hear that?
Sorry, that's my phone. Yeah, it's an annoying thing.
Fair enough. Cool. I enjoy your rewatch. Thank you very much. Derogaday donated with, been behind since the start of the semester, but I'm caught up and back live. Welcome. I love watching these characters grow and learn. Quill's story has been especially meaningful for me, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Amazing. Thank you very much, Derogaday. Soul Knight, 72, $150.
Soul Knight.
150. Hundo and a half. Thank you.
Hundo and 50 from Soul Knight.
Amazing. Hey guys, long time VOD bod, around since the Lightfall days, and this is my first time I've been able to catch the show live. Welcome. I've been able, where am I? It's been a hell of a week for me, so thank you for being what got me through it, as well as the OSRS grind. Clear skies. Thank you very much.
Wow. Was there what happened?
Wow,
150 and another hundo earlier on as well.
Good lord.
Big boys.
Soul Knight and Sun Tiger. Thank you very much. Jenny Claire, quarter hundo. Hey rollers, thought I'd share the love a little bit from my new job. In addition to my crazy 5-class chaos character, I now have a robot with 3 classes and several robot companions named the Robot Rainbow. Each has a different color. That's cool. Rip my DMs. Thank you very much. Jenny Claire, that sounds cool as hell. Natalie June Hawthorne, this week on NSC, Tiamat sent an enormous strike force to kill a goddess and her demigod servants, and it wasn't enough. 70 dragons dead. Also, the party gained a poor little meow meow war criminal servant of Lolth NPC, and the drow really wants to kill her.
Meow meow.
Gee, that campaign sounds nuts. ESG Bear, $169.80. I don't know what the translation of that is. 150 maybe?
Good
Thank you very
Lord.
much. For Tom's, I don't want to smack my lich up a couple of weeks ago. Best joke ever told. I couldn't stop laughing. Thank you. I usually watch live as I'm lazy. What?
Liches have feelings too, man.
That's
I
my
usually
girlfriend you're
don't-
talking about. Have some respect.
What, the lich?
We were talking about turning her into a lich.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, no. Yeah. I usually don't watch live as I'm lazy and sleep in late. And as a small thanks for getting me truly into D&D, love you all and can't wait for next week. Thank you very much, ESG Bear, and nice sense of humor.
The fuck?
And
Just a little self pat on the back there by Tom, just like, yeah, very good. I'm glad you like that really funny joke. Super funny.
I'm a funny guy.
I'm a funny guy.
And that's it. I'm caught up for now. So I'll read the rest at the end of the episode. Thank you very much, everyone. And again, go check out the Patreon.
Well,
And
Tommy has a
also-
very quick little break. Don't forget, check out our amazing sponsors.
Yes.
We got 3. Trot's going to tell you all about it. In fact, I'm going to steal his thunder. That's Trot's thing.
It's fine. Hey, Steamforge Games have released, and will be releasing, on the 30th, a new awesome miniatures pack called Adventures in Academia, which not only has 12 awesomely detailed minis for magical college characters, which are designed for 5th edition role-playing adventures. They also come with their own special rules, items that level with them, special abilities. There's a professor dog. I mean, come on. Just get it. It's got PDFs with battle maps, character sheets.
You'll ever see.
Yeah, they're
They are
awesome.
very
They look really cool. I'll show you. I'll show you again. Screw it. Here we go. Let me just flick through a
Go
couple
through
of
the
these.
slideshow.
Whoa, what about
Look at
that one? What
cute
about
little
this
tiefling.
one?
So cute.
They're awesome. They're really, really
They're
cool.
all really good. Look at that little tool. He loves it. I
This
love
is
that
only a
Dragonborn,
few of them
actually.
as well. So,
I can see Ree nodding like Dragonborn.
Yes,
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 I want
yes.
the cats. I want the big
big cat
lion
man.
cat, and I want the black cat. The cats, I want them.
there's some really good ones there. Please go check out the link to see more previews of it, and obviously take part in the Kickstarter in a couple of days. It's only up for a week. So yeah, bookmark it and remind yourself in a couple of days. And while you're at it, whilst you're browsing the web, you should probably check out NordVPN. Keep yourself protected. You got to be secure on the internet nowadays. Who knows who's snooping on your data or taking stuff without your knowledge? With a VPN service, you can secure that and also just retain that fast speed. You don't have to worry about things slowing down. It's really robust and stable. And if you want to access things from different countries that are locked off on your country, this is a way of doing it. You just become...
Eric, what's that face?
Think of it as casting protection from hackers on yourself at 9th level.
Yeah. You can do that. You can get with our code nordvpn.com/save HRTND every time. You can get 73% off a 2-year deal, and you get an extra month thrown in as well. And if you don't like it, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So please check it out.
Code, hey, that's nordvpn.com/HRDND. No other code. All the other codes suck. Only use
That's the best
HRDND.
one.
It's
Yeah.
the best one, right, Trot?
Right now, yes.
Yeah.
And
right now, it's the best one. In this stream, it's the best code.
of course, D&D Beyond, legendary digital toolset for 5th edition. We use it all the time. We're using it right now, in fact. That's what our dice roller is,
Always.
if you didn't know. That's what this is. It's our game log now where we can share all our roles together. On top of that, we have our character sheets linked in a campaign that Mark can oversee and manage. He can give us homebrew items easily. He can add homebrew stuff.
All sorts of stuff. Yeah.
And he can, or all of us can search through the database of D&D at a moment's notice if we need to look up what Warcaster does, for example. So
which
get
is
on
literally what we did. Yeah.
Please use our link so that D&D Beyond knows that you are coming from us and that we're a really valued sponsor. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. D&D Beyond, Steamforged Games, and NordVPN. Appreciate
you,
it. Tommy's back. Are we ready to play some more D&D? I'm ready.
Always.
Everyone's excited. Cool. Well, having vanquished the two spirits that inhabited these Black Stallion woods, at least for now, as far as you know, you are free to try and find these centaurs, this family, this whatever is happening here. I'm not even sure, do you guys even know exactly what you're looking for? You can tell me that in a minute. But yeah, you have a moment's respite. So what's the plan? You tell me.
I assume we're traveling up the road as we entered the forest. We're just going deeper in.
There is a loose path that travels through the woods. Yeah, it's pretty overgrown. It's old, but there is a path. But much of this wood is pretty thick and pretty overgrown. It looks uncared for.
Now, I'm sure you're far more adept at this sort of thing, particularly people like Ayla. But Nanny Norfae used to teach me about people that lived in woods all the time, and they used to scavenge and scurry for food and that sort of thing. So it's unlikely that they're going to at least stay in one place all the time. They might have a base of operations, but surely they'd go out for food and sustenance. So maybe we can pick up those sorts of tracks, and then they might lead somewhere.
I mean, sure, but also this wood has been haunted and there's probably nobody here.
Oh, right. Well, I'd like to remain optimistic that there are. Rosemeadow's family is here.
I mean, they're hanging from, trees and they're on the ground.
Let's not focus on that bit. That's way back there.
I think we should follow the path.
Right.
There's a path for a reason, right?
But I'm not sure. Yes, there is a path, but wouldn't people that are actively trying to hide from evil spirits that keep coming back not follow a path?
Well, that depends if they are actively hiding from it. Remember, the story said they had some kind of protection from these things. They might just be
True.
Wandering freely.
What else can we take apart from the stories we've heard? Any more glints of information?
Could we detect magic and see if there's any sort of, pocket magic or hiding magic or spooky magic?
Certainly could try.
I could give it a go, but it's not amazingly useful for long range. But if you give me 10 minutes, yeah. I could try.
It's a start.
Yes.
Cool. In that case, yeah. I mean, I could ritual cast detect magic in that case. It's just 10 minutes to do that.
And then are you gonna start following the road, or are you doing that stationary and you're gonna see what result you get from the detect magic, or are you doing this on the move?
Can you do it on the move?
Yeah, I'd say so. As long as you're not under attack or anything like that. Yeah.
And it's concentration as well. So yeah, I can hold it for 10 minutes and then we can just keep moving. But yeah, once that's up, 30 feet of range is the only thing on detect magic.
Okay. So, and is the plan you're just going to follow the road, or are you going to do what Lucius suggests and kind of go off the track and try and find tracks, or what's the play here?
Can I have a quick look and see if I can see any tracks?
Absolutely, you can. Yeah, you can make a survival check.
Yeah, I've got 10 minutes while I'm doing
survival skill.
Oh my god, I got nat 20, so 26.
Hey, all right. Well, natural 20. You don't get it's not like a crit, but yeah, there's a couple of things, Ayla. I think that maybe this wouldn't come into play before you set off with the detect magic spell, but it would very rapidly become evident the second you start moving from this space. First things first, there are no tracks. In fact, those two riders left no tracks. There are no tracks of them. The only tracks you can find are your own tracks. But once you look back the way you came and you can see Sentry's kind of plant growth, is beginning to sort of dissipate and sort of leave the way clear, you haven't left. There's no tracks of you guys coming that way either. your tracks have vanished. Obviously, looking down in the ground now, you can see footprints and things like that, and broken twigs where you've been fighting and things like that. But looking back down the road, there's no sign that you came that way. In fact, Ayla, you would say looking back down the road that you came, you don't think that's the same road. You think you don't remember that road. Like, there are like certain trees and rock formations, and you're like, I don't recognize that. We didn't come that way.
Crap.
So I don't want to panic anyone, but I think the entire wood is shifting.
What?
Hear me out. Hear me out. That road, we didn't walk down that road.
I mean, we had to have done.
Do you recognize it? No, but we didn't. Because that rock.
Well, now that Ayla points out to you, once Quill points out to Ayla points out, Quill, with your perception and your own natural, survival and being a messenger, actually, you can kind of see what she's saying. Like, you don't recognize it.
I mean, looking down the way we came, can I look the way we were going to go? Is that the way we came now? Or is that now completely different?
Looks completely different. When your detect magic kicks in, you do begin to see that there is very subtle but quite powerful illusion magic throughout these woods. There is also just some transmutation magic. You don't even think that some of this isn't illusory. You think some of the trees and things like that could be illusions, and then some of them, like, you watch a tree shift a couple of inches, and it's almost like it's being pulled through the ground a couple of inches, but then more and more trees seem to be doing the same, and like you get the sense that this whole place is shifting around you.
Are they all going the same direction, like expanding, or like
make a straight up intelligence check, just D20 plus intelligence.
Intelligence plus 2. 16.
16. On a quick glance, you think that there is a pattern here, but it's more complicated than just going in the same direction.
Okay.
It is like it is shifting things around purposefully based on Ayla's survival and now your sort of checks and detect magic. You think that some force, whether it's a natural magic or whether it's an actual person or whether it's the nature of the woods themselves, is making it so that these woods are incredibly difficult to navigate through. Like, magically, hiding and protecting parts of these woods.
Why don't we try?
What if it's
and just talk to whoever might be protecting this? Shout out loud. We might have someone you want to meet. The usual things. There could be ghosts everywhere. They're moving trees. They're moving roads. Huh?
I think that talking to trees is always a good idea. Like, Rose Meadows just sort of like looking at
Rose Meadows, talk to a tree immediately.
Hello, tree. How are you?
For starters, and not to scare you, these may not be even real trees. There's illusory magic here. There's these trees are moving in some pattern I can't understand. I could try one thing, but I don't know how useful it is going to be.
Your eye?
Well, the eye, in a sense, true sight. And see past all of these illusions, see past all this magic, and see this place for what it actually is. Maybe we'll be able to find some way through. I can even do that
really horrifying,
myself.
can you sugarcoat it for us?
Well, I could. I don't even need to do it myself. I can give it to someone else.
Nope.
No?
No thanks.
Oh, no.
Sentry? No?
I don't think I should
no,
have that much responsibility ever.
Yes, it's me then.
Always scientist.
Nova, I was going to say, Nova's...
me.
Hello? Nova would volunteer.
Hello? Is anyone paying attention to me? Hi. It's just like it's school again. It's just it's school again. Yep. Okay.
So no one's saying anything, so I get it's me.
No, just me. Okay, sure.
I think
put my hand down.
I think I will. I appreciate it, Nova, but since no one else wants to see this,
also because of the whole thing with the eye, I think it's cooler if it's Quill that can do it, and it's the eye that gives you the ability to see it, right?
Also,
I just
the perception
enjoyed
I've got survival too. Like if I can see this for what it actually is, I can also navigate what it actually is too. So yeah, in that case, I will pull from the eye. I will cast True Sight, and I will pull from the Storm Eye, and then dissipate that into the other eye as well. So almost like both eyes become this
like
blue
storm
visage.
Quill, immediately your vision changes. you can no longer just see, you see the woods, you see your friends, but now so much more. It's like your vision, kind of like Neo in the Matrix, right? You begin to see the very strands of magic that make up your friends. Like Lucius almost appears resplendent in blue and orange. But you can begin to see fragments of other colors making up Lucius's very being. You can see this like prismatic energy very faintly within him, but it's growing stronger. You can see Sentry, the Matrix. You look at the Matrix with true sight, you can actually see it flowing like a river. Like the orb itself is like water, and you can see these kind of, you know, almost like spectral figures flowing through Sentry's body up into her, like her limbs, her mind, her eyes, all this. You can see with Nova kind of stood, not kind of over Nova, sort of enshrouding her, a blue spectral figure. Like you see kind of holding the hand that Nova is holding Tiangong is, their hand is cupped around Nova's, but you see this spectral figure looking at you, like as if it can see you too, and like looking down at you. Ayla, you see like storms where she has the scars, all the lightning energy that courses through Ayla is like up and down these scars, like constantly. Even though she hasn't activated her powers, you can see it writhing beneath her skin. Who else do you see? Thalia. That Briar curse, you can see black tendrils, faint though they are, spreading all across her arm and into her chest, all through her body. And you see like black, almost like a black hand with 6 fingers wrapped around her throat, like kind of like hovering there. Rose Meadow, you see a very faint outline of a unicorn horn projecting from her forehead, and you can see this kind of magic, but it's like it's being suppressed. Like there's something there, but you can't see it, but you can. It's there, but not visible, like it's being shrouded somehow. And then you look at the forest, and again, you see very clearly, and many of these trees disappear. They become illusions. You can see what appears to be great threads, like a web stretched across the forest, and the threads connect trees, and then as the trees are moving, the thread is pulling them. And when you look up into the canopy, you see dozens of them. Spiders, almost like glass, invisible, their eyes looking down at you, sort of moving between the trees and amongst the webs, and they're looking at you curiously. Completely invisible to the naked eye. Only with true sight can you penetrate whatever spell enshrouds them. And they sort of look at you, and they kind of, and they seem to like recognize that you can see them now. One of them moves over, and you see a whole kind of gathering of these spiders, probably about the size of, you know, a dog kind of thing, these spiders. And a bunch of them begin weaving a very rapid web. Gossamer thin silk. Follow. It says, spells out with the web itself.
Wow. Okay. All right. All of you guys, I'm going to need you to stand. I'm going to need you to stand behind me, because you are all so magically empowered. It's blinding and beautiful, and it's too much. But stand behind me. But to sugarcoat things, there are things in this forest that are watching us, that can see us. And they are giving me messages to follow in this direction.
Okay.
And it's the only lead we have.
Can you tell them that we're nice people, Quill? We're delightful people. We mean no harm.
They're watching us, and they know I can see them. We are nice people.
Are they centaurs? Do they look like Rose Meadow?
Quill, you hear a voice. You hear a voice in your mind. You hear like a telepathic message in your mind. How long do you have the vision?
Can I respond telepathically, or I'll just say it out loud, just in case?
Yeah, okay, yeah, just say it out loud.
For maybe an hour now.
Stand behind you for an hour?
Hang on.
The centaurs have been here for an hour?
You will need one of us to guide you once your vision fades. Follow the web. I shall find you.
Quill. All right.
Thank you. What? Lucius. Okay.
Yes?
They were speaking to me. They're speaking to me now.
Oh, sorry.
But We need to follow them
are they?
now.
Who are they, though?
They are spectral, and they are quite nice looking, to be honest. Really.
Oh, that's lovely. Stand
You're
behind Quill
cool.
like a Q.
Yeah,
Sure.
indescribable, really.
Oh, come on. What's the colour? You know, how many legs do they have? You know, is it humanoid?
Crystalline.
Oh.
Crystalline,
How many
that's
legs?
nice. Yeah, they
More than
humanoid.
7. Anyway, let's carry on.
Centipedes?
We need to move. We need to follow the
Millipedes.
signs, and they will try and guide us to where we need to go.
All right.
They're trying to guide.
Whatever Quill can see, I prefer it to the spirits that nearly cut off our heads. I say we trust whatever Quill can see.
Yeah, if they don't have bows and swords, I'm okay with following them. Lead the way.
And how vicious do these things actually look? Like,
I mean, some of these things look scary AF. Like they're like chitinous, like crystalline spiders with gleaming eyes. Their legs look razor sharp. Some of them are smaller, some of them are massive. Like the ones that formed that follow message were small. You see one of them that is as big as, like, it's in the canopy. Like its legs are on the ground, but its body is up in the canopy. It
Oh,
is
fuck that.
gargantuan.
fuck that.
No.
You know what? I'm using the book. We're leaving. See ya.
All right.
Yeah.
Why is Quill
You
setting
wanna-
the
you wanna
forest
push
on
the book?
fire?
No. No swords, no bows. No swords, no bows.
Leave your weapons here.
Let's keep moving.
No swords, no bows, leave your weapons here. Love it. Love that movie. Yeah, I mean, Quill, are you just going to follow these webs? The rest of you, when Quill starts leading you, you see the webs as well. These are physical webs. Gossamer thin silk. And yeah, you see one that says follow. Quill continues on, and then you see another one that says sanctuary. And yeah, if you follow Quill, about an hour passes, you move through the woods. You aren't attacked by anything. You don't hear any more of the riders. But after about an hour, when the true sight fades from you, Quill, something appears, again, seemingly out of nothing, but it sort of morphs into existence, appearing as if veiled by a mirror. Kind of light reflects around it, and then it phases into existence.
I will
And it
warn
is
everyone else that this is happening, by the way. 'cause
Sure,
They said
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because you would see this creature walking up to you. It kind of like descends from a tree, it walks onto the road, and then as your vision fades, you see nothing, and then it reappears into your normal vision. Its body is a sort of pale white and blue, a bulbous 8-legged spider with many, many eyes, big mandibles, and it speaks. It speaks in common to all of you. It opens its mouth and common voice comes out. Be not afraid. I am here to guide you. I am Orcs on Morning Dew. My lady has bid me to grant you passage.
Thank you for your guidance thus far. But who is your lady?
The Lady Dawnweaver.
Oh yeah.
You are known to us, Kilek Adkola and Ayla of Alfheim.
Yeah, we met some. Yeah, we met some spiders, guys. Remember when we talked to you about the spiders we met? We met some spiders when we,
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
What?
Yeah, I got this. I'll pull out the little coin. That
What's happening?
everyone
Wow, I have
keeps
never
talking
seen
about.
that coin before.
I'll go,
That seems like a really powerful coin, Ayla. What can it do?
I'm just gonna hold on to it. Just put it back in
hold
my
on to
pocket.
You are friends. My lady expects you. And your wayward companion. And the spider sort of gestures at Rose Meadow, who's like, well, he just seems lovely. It's just like, oh, what a cute Spider-Man.
Great. How long do we have left before we get to Sanctuary?
It is not much farther, but you will not find it without the gift of the true sight you once carried. We must shape the woods to prevent the spirits from finding it. We have a few hours before they will return to this world.
Okay.
Be not afraid.
Hours.
You will find only peace and care within my mistress Webb.
I'm just gripping Quill and hiding behind him at this point, like cowering. I guess it's the wrong people. They're not sent us at all.
Is your companion well? If any of you are too weak to walk, I will carry you.
No, I can walk myself. Absolutely fine.
That is pleasing.
I really want to ride a spider. Like, Nova's just whispering to Thalia, like, Thalia, I love spiders. I really want to... do you think,
knock yourself out. I'm not getting on that thing. No, I don't want to ride the spider. You get on it, though.
Cute! Look at it. It's amazing.
No. Okay, I'm a little bit...
spiders.
Okay, well, you sure.
Go, can we try this?
I think we are well enough to travel, but we did encounter the spirits. I'm sure you saw already, and some of us did. We are relatively injured, but good enough to walk on our own. Thank you.
You will be safe. We have weaved magic in the woods around us. The riders will not be able to find you while you travel within among us. My brothers and sisters, they enshroud us even now. Be not afraid. All will be well in my mistress's web.
In a web,
I'm totally down for this. It was great last time.
I don't want to be in a web.
They're really nice. They're nice
They
spiders.
are really nice. Yeah,
I mean,
we have met them before. Yeah.
Okay.
Lead the way.
It just turns around and begins leading away. And this spider walks on morning dew is big. Like, this is a large creature. This is pretty massive. Definitely at least a medium creature could easily ride on their back, on their big bulbous back bit. But yeah,
Big bulbous back bit.
big bulbous back bit. Everybody continues. If you guys don't have any objections, you are led. And within about a sort of another hour, it's not longer than another hour, you find yourselves suddenly as though you have stepped through a veil. The thick and ancient woodland seems to almost vanish. You find yourselves in a wide clearing. Soft grass of subtle purple hue covers the ground, and a fresh, crystal clear spring bubbles and trickles through it. A number of simple tents made from the finest silk cloth you have ever seen have been erected around the grove, whilst a partially ruined stone temple sits at the center. It's draped in similar fine silks, and you cannot see within. Centaurs with blonde and copper hair, pale white horse bodies, and tanned humanoid forms stop mid-chores outside their tents at the spring and stare at you in amazement. And a gentle woman's voice seems to echo through the air and into your minds. Fear not, my wayward friends. They are expected. Travelers from the world beneath a mother's sky. I ask you, do not speak to any here, save myself for now. Please, come to my chamber.
Okay.
The spider walks on morning dew, sort of bows its head as soon as the voice sort of like begins entering your minds, and it turns to you. You have been graced.
Thank you very much. And I reach a hand out and then don't.
No. A hand, like a big leg, comes down.
I run away to Big Cat.
Yeah, Big Cat is like, it's like looking around,
That's too
like
close.
freaked out.
Thank you
Nova
for the
just
guidance.
appears next to Quill and is like just holding out, like kind of waiting in a queue, like, I want to touch this spider.
It will shake Quill. It will shake Quill's hand, and then it will kind of move its leg and just sort of like ruffle your hair. Nova, it kind of playfully just like taps you on the head.
It's going to kill Nova.
Out of interest, how do the centaurs react to Rosemeadow?
All of the centaurs have literally like frozen what they were doing and are just staring at you. You actually see several of them are like, they're breaking down in tears and they're like turning to each other. It's hard to read like whether that's joy or sorrow, but like they are just like wide-eyed in amazement, and they're like you can see them whispering to each other, but none of them approach you. Like, in fact, I would say that most of them part ways so that you have a very clear like you can walk towards this temple without going anywhere near them.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Everyone ready? Temple?
The world
Let's do it.
the mother's sky.
Can I not just go and spit? I want. And she's like, Rose Meadows pointing at the centaurs, like, I feel like I should go and say something.
We'll talk to them after we talk to her ladyship of the big spider land.
Dawnweaver.
Okay. And like Rose Meadows like looking at them sort of like, oh, and like she's like reaching out and like waving at them and stuff. And like when she does that, you just see like some of them are just like holding their like hands, like just shaking their heads in disbelief.
Wow. They guided us here. The least we can do is follow the one order they've given us, and that's to go straight to Lady Dawnweaver.
Okay.
But you will have your time, Rose Meadow.
Okay, cool. She just sort of like nods her head. She'll just follow. Yeah.
Amazing.
So yeah, you guys just want to head to the temple?
Yeah.
I think so.
Sure. You make your way. Nobody else follows you. Even the spider, even Walks on Morning Dew, just sort of stands near the edge of the forest. As you get close to the temple, they just turn and enter the forest again. They just vanish into the tree line. When you get to the stone building, there's no doors, but it's dark. It's quite dimly lit, and when you step inside, it almost becomes nighttime, like twilight. And you can see that these beautiful silk tapestries line the walls, and at the ceiling. It's like they've been draped over like a big tent or like a big canvas, and they're draping along the sign. And in the middle, you see a very peculiar looking woman. Well, peculiar to everybody but Quill and Ayla, who have encountered an individual very similar to this before. This being has the body of a giant pale white spider, quite chitinous, quite jagged sort of edges, almost like the spider part is covered in armor. Pale white with blue paint, gold paint in the shape of a sun has been painted on the spider's, body, the abdomen kind of area. The legs have been decorated with golden swirls and circles and bands, things like that. The top half of the woman, the sort of, she has a humanoid torso. This is a Dryder. So you can see a drow woman, a dark elf woman. So think very dusky, dark gray skin, blonde, almost glowing hair that's kept long and free. And she's wearing like very thin gossamer silk robes that are quite, they're quite open and sort of, there's not much care for sort of like decency, but just kind of draped in this fabric. And she turns to you and she does have, these kind of almost like painted on eyes over her forehead, and then her hair is like tied back, and then she has normal eyes looking down. This is a Dryder, so half human, half giant spider. And when you enter, she is what appears to be, she's creating another tapestry. She's kind of weaving and sewing like loom, kind of like spinning threads and using magic to kind of create a new tapestry. And when you enter, she just bows her head and reaches out her hand. Welcome. You do not need to be afraid. No harm will come to you here.
Just real quick, looking around, these tapestries have like imagery on them, or like a story, or
yeah, they do. Yeah. You look around, you don't recognize any of it. You look around and you see there's one which shows a group of figures that seem to be crossing sort of like a mountaintop. You see one where there appears to be a city, like a city you've never seen before, made of these tall spires with airships and, strange looking constructs, like kind of like guardians, I guess, almost walking amongst this city of towers. You see a kingdom with a dragon flying over it. It is, all kind of like, scenes, but you don't recognize any of it.
Okay.
Except the one in her hand, actually, Quill, with your 26 passive perception. The one that she's making now shows all of you with Rose Meadow in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I'm sort of leading the way, and I guess everyone is still kind of spooked behind in some sense, then yeah, I'll sort of do a small bow and say, I thank you for the guidance you gave us to get through that forest. I think without your aid, we would surely have been lost for who knows how long.
You would have, yes, but of course I would guide you here. I sadly could not send my children until the spirits of the riders were defeated, but I knew that you would take care of them. And once they were, I sent my children to guide you.
These tapestries, these stories, you've seen a lot of the world. I mean, even probably beyond this place.
You are very perceptive. I thought as much. Yes, these are... there is so much to tell you, but I fear what I should tell you without being prompted. But yes, they are stories. They are places, people, of worlds far beyond this one.
Wow, they are beautiful. Sorry, you know of me and Ayla, as you mentioned before.
You need not introduce everyone, Kilekad Kola. I know very much who you all are. Nova Vija, Tiangong, Lucius Viridian, Elowin Elenasto,
Yes.
Sentry, also known as Sentinel Prime to her people, Ayla of Alfheim, Kilekad Kola, Seer, Oracle of Hesper. I know you very well. And of course we have Her Highness, Thalia Whisperwind of Heartspire, Kyrie of the Mountain People, and of course Rose Meadow. You see, there's like this real tender look in Rose Meadow's direction. I have not seen you in a long time, little girl. When she says that, she's looking at Rose Meadow.
So it's true.
Please
it's what we believed about Rose Meadow, all the stories we heard, it's true.
Yes. Yes. This one, and Rose Meadow was not her birth name. She was never given one. There was no time when she was born for her to have a name granted to her. So Rose Meadow, her family name, was the only one I could provide. But yes, I sent her far from here. Sent you far from here, she says this to Rose Meadow. You were being pursued by a very powerful and dangerous woman. And sadly, my gifts, I cannot directly intervene. So at best, I sent you to a place that I knew that Zakira would not find you. I hid your power, I hid your lineage, knowing that one day you would be returned. After all, she looks at Quill, what is a wayfinder if not somebody who returns lost things? So,
Awesome.
You likely have many questions, and I am very happy to answer them.
A few, quite a few. I mean, mostly around this forest, this place, this magic that you have controlling this entire place, and the spirits within them hunting anyone that tries to enter. And I mean, the stories we've heard of people who entered this place with protection from these spirits, we haven't seen much of that. But I mean, is that your doing?
I'm afraid I do not know what people you speak of, but nobody has entered my realm since, and she gestures to Rose Meadow, since I saved this one. If there are stories amongst the Feywild of people who have entered Black Stallion Woods and survived, that is only to their own credit. I'm afraid that, as I mentioned, I am very limited in how my powers can be used.
Maybe just a fairy tale then, in that case. I mean, I've seen how many of you, well, I say you, how many eyes you have around the forest, and yeah, I mean, you see everything there. Well, and beyond, looking at these tapestries.
I do.
Sorry, I'm someone else. My brain is overflowing with questions and ideas of everything here. It's a lot. Please, someone else.
You are so much like him.
Oh, don't say that.
But of course, if anyone has questions about why you are here, about Rose Meadow, about myself or the world,
Which just looks at Nova.
My question's rather selfish, I'm afraid.
That is fine.
Can you help
You are going
her
to ask me if I can help
towards-
Thalia.
I like to think that we'd say it exactly at the same time.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Sadly, I cannot. My powers are great. I can help you a little. I can give you some information, but I cannot help her. Mesmera's power is strong. She is an archfey of Lunaria, and as long as she inhabits Heartspire, her power is significant in this place specifically. I am limited in what I can do. I am bound by rules that my sisters and I have placed upon ourselves. I am very loath to break them. There are many outcomes. I cannot see all futures, but you should be cautious. There is an old enemy at the hand behind all of this.
So, it's not
Your fates were always
Mesmera.
intertwined. Your fates are always intertwined, Nova Vija. Your journeys, your travels, your companions, even what brought you here with Rose Meadow, everything is interlinked. And the nature of this curse, the solution you must find, you will need to defeat an old enemy as well.
Oh god.
What of the rest of you? Or if you have further questions, Nova Vija, of course.
I want to sort this. Obviously, I do want to sort this, but it feels a bit too obvious that the way to do it is to kill Mesmera. But that doesn't feel right to me. Is there a way to convince her? Someone so angry, so vengeful.
If that is what you think you must do, that is what you should do. I do not wish to guide you in this. But it would be nice, wouldn't it? If not all
It would,
things
and
were solved
unfortunately a lot of
by
people never
the
seem
sword.
to want to talk to me and figure things out. They just want to kill everyone.
There are many in this world who...
Work.
There are sadly many in this world who will not look beyond the blade. But there are some. There are some. I guess perhaps the question you should ask yourself, Nova Vija, is why? Why do people not listen when reason is placed before them? What sources perhaps influence them, or control them, or drive them? What passions, what purposes? That is all we can ever ask of ourselves.
I think I'm the last person in the universe who can understand people when logic is right there. Oh, God.
She looks around. I do not wish to speak for any of you. I have so many things I could and would like to say, but it is not my place.
Well, that's not fair. Now I'm really curious.
Perhaps I should tell you a little of myself, and then you will understand a bit where my position stands then. I am Dawnweaver, as you have likely been heard or told. I am one of three. We call ourselves the Widows of Fate. You have met one of my sisters, Ayla and Keelek, a Duskwillow. But there is another as well, Nightwreath. And the three of us we are from another world entirely. Not just another world, in fact, another existence. And she raises up her humanoid hand, and you watch as the darkness in the room darkens even further until it is just you, her, and these tapestries. And she flicks her hand, and a tapestry kind of folds out. And it is no longer a tapestry, it becomes an actual image, like a window to another world. And you see an underground city made of like cities built into stalactites. You see this dark depth world full of dark elves, full of drow. And they do not look friendly. They all bear the symbol of some sort of religious symbol of a spider goddess. And it is militaristic. It is, oppressive. We were all once servants of a goddess called Lolth, who belongs to another existence to this. We each three were oracles, much like Kilek and Kolar. We possessed the gift of foresight and great magical power. All of us one day saw that we would be betrayed or killed by our goddess in spite and vengeance and pettiness. And when we tried to rebel, we were captured. We were captured, and a horrific ritual was placed upon us that transformed us into this. And she gestures to her half spider body, a creature called a Drider. It is a punishment for those who are enemies of Lolth. But through it, our magic, our power of foresight grew. We became aware of each other, for we were not all in the same world, in the same existence. We were spread out across many, but our minds connected in a way that we did not realize. And we soon became aware of what we have come to call the Web of Eternity. Imagine this. She clicks her fingers, and you watch as this kind of spectral diamond web begins to stretch out. All these connected points. Aerois and the planes, the world that you know, are but one nexus. And she taps a joint that kind of connects, such as this. But there are many. My sisters and I became aware of many of these places across the Web of Eternity, and we found that we had the power to traverse them, to travel between them, to walk the Web of Eternity between each point. Now, some worlds, such as this, some existences as this, are secluded from the others. They are harder to reach. And she finds one where, almost as if where a spider web would be attached to a tree, where it's just a single point, just a single line between the web and this anchor point. And when she taps the anchor point, you see Aerois, you see your world, you see Gusthaven, Horizon, you see the lowlands stretching around, you see Gideon Prime, you see Elysium, you see all the planes. Only one point of connection, separated from many others. But then you find others, and she finds a nexus which is connected on all sides, part of the core web. And when she taps that, you see images of a city, a grand fantasy medieval city, with elves and dwarves and orcs wandering amongst it. And it passes a tavern called the Yawning Portal. And you see signs for Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter and all of these other places. And then there are worlds like this one, connected in many ways to many different places, almost as if there are hundreds of copies of them. Once we found that we had this power, we knew that we had a great responsibility. And so we agreed, amongst us, that one of us would always watch over the Web of Eternity, whilst the others rested. Currently, my sister Nightwreath watches over the Web of Eternity. And so Duskwillow and myself have taken to seclusion to bide our time, to rest our power, so that when our time comes, we shall become the guardians of the web. And as such, I have seen many things. And I do what I can to help when people come to me in need. As I'm sure Duskwillow did, although Duskwillow is perhaps a little bit more impetuous than I am.
Oh, wow. Apologies for the stunned silence for this, but from Aerois, many of us didn't even know about the astral sea, and now you tell us about the infinite possibilities of infinite worlds beyond even that, and the spreading impossibility of all of this forever and ever, and you can see it all. You can see...
Not all the time. I am aware of it, but I think I would go truly mad if I was to see it all of the time. That will be Nightwreath's burden to bear. But she is also empowered. Whilst she is the guardian of the Web of Eternity, whichever sister is, we have almost deific power. But when we are not, we are perhaps more limited in what we see and can do. Hence my reluctance to help your friend.
In that case, all of these places, all of these times, all of these things, I have to ask, are you truly here now?
That is an excellent question, my friend. Even I do not know that. Is there perhaps a version of me out there that lives in another one of these nexus? And I am but a fragment, an echo, a memory? I do not know. What I do know is that I am here now, that there are people I can help, that there are joys to be found. And that is what I live for.
Oh, even the idea of that answer just gave me a huge headache.
I share this burden with you because you must know by now that you have such a great part to play in this world. All of you.
I realised it was so big. There's a lot of it.
Lucius looks like he has something to say.
I was just here for some fun, hitting people with a hammer. It's a lot of pressure.
And that is all you need to do. You do not need to be more to this, Ayla.
So, we're in a web? I don't fully follow.
You do not need to follow it too much, Lucius. All you must know is that there are many worlds like yours out there. But this one is yours. And it is special.
This one, but this is the Fae.
Yes, this is part of a universe, a nexus. Lunaria is this Feywild is but one reflection of many hundreds of thousands of Feywilds.
Reflection like me. Lucius. His .exe. It's stopped working.
Imagine all the places we've seen and been, Lucius, and then multiply it forever. Does that help?
But think of them not as copies of this world. There are many that are not like your world at all. And she clicks her fingers in the web and she selects another nexus point on the web. This time you see... What do you see in this one? Okay, yeah, you see this. You see a group of adventurers traveling across a snowy landscape. There is a green-skinned half-orc, blue-skinned tiefling, dressed very cutely and prettily. There is a human wizard, a halfling woman with him. You see a furbolg with pink hair. You see all these different characters kind of traveling around. She taps another nexus point. You see a world where there is a train powered by lightning, and you see a group of adventurers battling on top of it, fighting off these kind of robot-looking ninjas. And they're fighting on top of this train, and one of them is like a guardian-like creature, and it kicks one of these ninjas off the top of the roof. Another one looks to be dressed like a private detective and has got two wands and is blasting with it. They are all very different. Each world has its own heroes, its own villains. They are not copies of Aerois, but their own worlds entirely.
Okay, and our piece of this web, it seems so disconnected to the rest. It's so far out. Why is it so far away?
That is just the nature. The web must be anchored somewhere. It must be connected at some point. Some places are simply distant to others. This is not a bad thing. It is just a mystery of magic, a mystery of the world.
Do they all have a Hadar?
Yes.
Not all worlds will. Some will, but in some, Hadar is not the being that you know it to be. The Hadar of your nexus is far darker, dangerous thing. It is not as... In other worlds, it is an old, forgotten name. A creature that is very weak in comparison. to the one you know in Aerois. In this world, Hadar, in this nexus, Hadar gained much power. Now is a threat to you and much, much more.
I don't know if that's comforting or even more frightening, knowing that there's more.
I mean, I don't know how much you can tell us. I appreciate the secrets that you hold and the protection you have over this web, but in all of these places, all of these nexuses, Hadar exists in some form. There must be some way they were all defeated. Some way that we can use that information to fight the Hadar in our nexus.
Indeed, there are many worlds, and like I said, in most of them, Hadar is an old, forgotten thing. Hadar never gains the power that Hadar here against in your world, in Erosian Hadar, gained. You already have everything you need to defeat Hadar. Perhaps a little more time, a little more strength. But the answer to defeating him is, well, you are closer than you think. I will say this, however. It is not just the fate of your nexus that rests on your shoulders.
Oh, good.
She gestures to the web once more. You have already seen what will happen if Hadar consumes this world engine, yes, Kilakat Kala. If Hadar consumes your nexus, and she takes the nexus point that was Aerois, this one strand that connects it to the side of infinity, and she plucks it. And when it does, the next anchor point breaks, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And it doesn't destroy all of them, but a chunk of these nexuses just break, leaving a number of them untouched. But, you know, maybe 5, 6, 7, all. If an anchor point is destroyed, it has consequences.
No pressure.
Anyone else feel a little bit sick? Because I feel a little bit sick.
I've got a tight feeling in my
woozy.
chest. Yes,
Woozy,
it's right there.
yeah, woozy.
Just the tightening. Right, heart.
Yeah, it's a lot of visuals. So it's noise in my head mainly just a lot of noise. But yeah, no, a little bit woozy all of a sudden. Yeah.
Can we travel the web? Is that possible?
It is possible. It is. Even my sisters and I cannot do it as freely as we like, unless we are the guardian of the Web of Eternity. But it is possible. There is magic that would allow you to travel the web. There is rituals. There may even be places in your nexus that will allow it. In fact, and she waves her hand and the web repairs. And she shows that one line that connects Aerois' nexus to the rest of the web. She kind of enhances it. And it zooms in, and also the space around you almost becomes like a map, right? Like a kind of galaxy map. And you see a white hole spewing energy into the astral sea of Aerois, like your multiverse. And she points to it. This is where much of Aerois came from. In fact, Ayla already has partially, not quite, transcended the web. And she draws a line from that white hole back down the line, back through the web to many worlds. And she taps one, and it shows the image of a feasting hall. And you see men and women in leather and metal with drinking and feasting. And at the head of the table is this big, strong, blonde-bearded, long blonde-haired warrior with a giant belt and a big hammer. And they're just all laughing together and things like that. Ayla,
I know that one. I know that one.
Indeed.
It's Thor. Met him
Many
once.
of the gods, many of the divine beings that helped create Aerois, when it was done, they traveled to other worlds, other nexuses, where they became gods once more, or perhaps no longer gods. This is the way of things.
Wait. Row back a second. Hold on. Divine beings created. I thought it was just Siaska.
No, there were many divine beings that created, not Aerois the world. Aerois the world, yes, Siaski, your Star Mother created, but your multiverse. many divine hands played into it. And in fact, it was those divine beings that Hadar consumed to gain the power that it now has.
So who's left? Can we contact them? Can we ask them to come back and help?
There is none. Only Siaska. These divine beings, once they have stepped into other places in the Nexus, they cannot return. Their work is done. Many of them no longer have the same power. In fact, Ayla, having spoken to this Thor, knows this. Thor cannot return to Aerois. He invested his power. He gave the gift of investitude to Siaska. And from Siaska was Zephyr.
Oh, okie dokie.
Belt, though. Belt's
So-
nice.
They may be able to provide you with gifts such as this. Yes, that is possible. Strenuous for the god, but possible.
Did hurt, by the way. Hurt when that whole thing happened. Lots of lightning. Quill, don't use me as a lightning rod again.
I'm not well unless we. Well,
Like
we'll.
it.
No, I won't. I'll try unless we have. I won't. Okay. Anyway, this Aerois, our piece of this web is connected by how many points? Just one. Now, I don't want to ask this because, but it's a failsafe. It's what happens if we don't succeed. If Hadar wins, can we sever the tie from the web?
Dawnweaver looks at you. Why do you think I am here? If all else fails, it will be my duty to cut off this nexus from the rest, to prevent Hadar from finding the Well of Eternity, from descending the Web of Eternity. Nightwreath will ensure that he cannot harm others.
That's good to know.
Okay.
But of course, I nor my sisters wish to see this happen. Your nexus has so much potential, so much beauty. We do not wish to see its life cut short.
Hope Hadar never gets that far. Do our best to make sure he doesn't.
I know
Well,
you will.
Me too. I mean, that was really a question of if we can't save everyone in Aerois, how do we save other, even beyond Aerois, beyond the Astral Sea, beyond... I'm getting in a loop again and trying to understand the breadth of this thing. Someone else talk, please.
I mean,
This is why you are the ones who will save this world.
well, in a way, it's sort of comforting to know that if the worst happens and we do fail, there are still worlds to be saved because we'll be cut off. At least Hadar won't spread. It's a cold comfort, I know, but it's there.
It's a lot better than like 6, 7 Nexus worlds, just poofing away because of us being failures.
Not that I wish to diminish your comfort, but there is a chance that if Hadar becomes powerful enough, he may still be able to overpower myself or my sister.
You could have just let the nausea lift a little tiny bit. But no, that's fine. Yeah, sure.
I'm afraid
We'll just
not.
make double short. Double, triple, quadruple sure.
Triple.
That it won't happen.
Quadra.
Yeah, quintuple.
Penta.
Yeah, that one.
It goes that high?
1
double.
billion.
% sure. Okay. Well,
That was heavy.
that's a lot. But I think we're all on the same page, Lucius, same page.
It's a glossed over stare and a nod and a smile, vacant.
Yeah. It's definitely like Thalia's kind of taking it in, but yeah, Rosemeadow and Kyrie are kind of in Lucius's camp.
Lucius
They're
is
just like,
intelligence
what is-
11, so
Yeah.
he's barely
that's-
taking on
you
board
could-
the concepts.
Yeah, you can understand
Ayla
the
has
concept, but it's
intelligence
a
of
big
9.
ass concept. Yeah.
She's just been told that people will die
mean,
if she fails, and
it's-
she's like,
It's also intelligence 11 of a character from a world that didn't even know about the Astral Sea, let alone, the multiverse theory.
I mean, yeah, I think Ayla understands because she's seen Thor, and because Quill and Ayla were zipped off already to.
Well, you met
Willow.
two other people. You met
So-
two other people from other material planes that weren't
Yeah.
planets in Aerois, because you met.
So I think she's seen
Colton
physical
and-
evidence.
Havilar.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she'd just be like, "What?"
Do we need a faster spaceship?
What?
We don't have one right now. Thalia has one. It's not ours.
Well, of course, it's Thalia's. I just mean, if we're going to just go racing along all these webbies and seeing these other worlds and
Oh,
that are
right.
beyond
We-
Aerois and saving
we
them
need
from
a
Hadar.
spaceship. We'd probably need a spaceship that could punch through time and space and the fabric of reality as we knew it.
Okay, now I'm lost. So, what?
I think no.
Go to
is
the
the best
different
answer.
threads.
No.
The different
To go
threads.
to the different threads. Yeah, if we were
Let's-
to go to another.
Please keep
I
the
think
web.
We should
This-
just
this
keep
point
on this
here.
thread.
Think of them as
another
I
angle. Yeah.
my sisters and I, we call them Nexus. We call them each multiverse. These planes, these worlds that you know, heaven, hell, the material worlds, the Feywild, the Shadowfell, they form a nexus. And a nexus is the point on the web that is connected to others by the strands. And then the webway, the lines that connect each nexus, are how you traverse them.
So we're not in another nexus right now. All of this Fae and all the other things are in just the yeah.
If it helps to think of it as the Aerosian nexus, yes, think of it as that. Everything in your
There's
reality, everything you're understanding.
Wait, everything we just saw, just swimming around us, is all of that 1,000 times?
That's what I said. All the things we've seen and experienced, multiply
Oh,
it a million times.
That's so
infinitely
much bigger than
forever.
I thought. I thought one of those dots was just our planet. I need to lie down.
Spaceship. Really.
You are welcome to rest here in my sanctum as long as you need. I will tell you that the riders that you destroyed on your way in, they will reform within a few hours. They will not stop until I restore Rose Meadow to how she is meant to be. And then
Rose Meadow.
they will come and find her, and they will attack. And if you can destroy them once more, once Rose Meadow's original form has been returned, after this, when you destroy them, they will be destroyed permanently. As
Wait, they will
Akira
attack
infused
here?
them. They will attack Rose Meadow as soon as she leaves this place. They will attack any centaur who leaves this place.
Is there a chance that Zakira will know Rose Meadow
Yes.
is restored?
Yes. The spirits
Okay.
will tell. She will be aware of what the spirits can see. She already
So
likely
Akira
knows
knows
that
we're
you
here.
are here.
Okay,
believe
that's
so.
good to know. Right. We can do that. We can do that. That's fine.
All right, yeah.
Yeah,
Zakira
absolutely.
cannot reach this place. You do not need to worry about that. Zakira cannot reach Lunaria without interference. But she will know that you have come. And she will know once Rose Meadow is restored. Speaking
She
of
should
which,
also know, if she knows all things, that she's a bitch. She's a bitch.
I believe that the entire multiverse is aware of that, Ayla.
Oh, that's nice. Cool. Everyone knows she's a bitch. That's kind of fun.
She is a dangerous, dangerous woman. Out of everything, I fear her far more than I fear Callus. I fear her almost as much as I fear Hadar. They are so similar.
Oh,
Very
Yeah.
similar.
Yep.
But there'll be more time to ask questions and talk. Perhaps now we should turn our attention to our little wayward foal. And she looks over towards Rose Meadow. Rose Meadow's just looking around like, I don't understand anything that anyone's saying.
So imagine a bubble. No, I'm not even going to begin.
Nope.
piece of paper going through a pencil through the piece of
Hold it
paper.
over.
Oh.
This is how a black hole works.
Dawnweaver, will just simply hold out her hand and say, Come here, my dear. And Rosemeadow just looks around. She looks to you guys like, is this okay? Should I do what she says?
Sentry will give her a nod.
Okay. The Dawnweaver kind of crouches down on her big spider legs so that she can reach Rosemeadow, who like takes her hands. And she's like, now, I'm afraid that you were never given a name when you were a baby. That is perhaps something you will need to pick for yourself. But I can help you understand a little about yourself, about why you were brought here. And she touches Rosemedow's forehead, and you watch as there is a kind of flash of light. And Rosemeadow kind of blinks, and you see like tears just stream down her face. Her expression doesn't change, but like it's like she's seeing so much, and like memories are just, you know, almost flood into her. And she kind of blinks a couple of times, and she seems to be like, she doesn't speak. And then Dawnweaver's like, and now I must remove something that I placed upon you long ago. I hid your magic from you. I hid your potential so that you would perhaps find an easier life on Aerois. But it is time for you to become who you truly are. And she brings up her hands. She clicks her fingers, and all the tapestries kind of wrap around Rosemeadow. You see light, like this kind of pale golden white light kind of fill. And then the tapestries burst into leaves and flowers and butterflies. And you see Rosemeadow still there, blonde sort of hair spilling down her shoulders, the white kind of horse-like body, but now there are these kind of like curly, like hairy bits over her like hooves. You can see that there are these very gentle silvery patterns, kind of almost like pressed into her horse skin. And from her forehead is this kind of like, in between the like golden curls is this ornate, beautiful unicorn horn. Her hands are like positively glowing. There's all these like silver and gold like markings along her arms, up her shoulders. You see this kind of transformation take place.
Hell yes. Hell yeah.
There we are. Now that is the little girl that I remember taking away. Rosemeadow sort of like looks down like, I don't know. Oh, I feel weird. It feels a bit strange.
Does it feel good? I mean, you've got this magic restored to you.
Yeah, I guess it's like I can feel the grass and the earth and the trees and it's like I feel like I can do so many things that I don't know. Like I feel like I could just do so much. And she just sort of like looks around.
Well, be careful with these things. You'll have to get used to all of this. But this is who you are meant to be, who you always should have been, and what Zarkira took away from you.
Well, I took away from her to protect her. But yes, Zarkira's threat was too much. I can help you understand a little of what you can do, Rosemeadow. But perhaps for now, there is something you can do for someone. And she gestures at Thalia, who's like looking around. She won't be able to cure Thalia, but she can help slow the effect.
I was going to ask. The tattoo, it's growing bigger. Do you know how much time?
You do not have long. Less than a week, a few days. Your journey through Yon Fen took up much of your time, but I can help with that. If you can deal with these spirits, if you can free the Rosemeadow family from being trapped here, I've kept them safe, but they cannot leave. I've provided them with as much as I can, but they cannot leave. They cannot explore the Feywild as they once did. But if those spirits are fully destroyed, if Rosemeadow confronts them, you will be able to destroy them permanently, and perhaps rescue the weapons that are bound to them as well. But if you do so,
of course,
it will be dangerous, of course. But once you do that, I will be able to transport you back to where you first met the Centaur family on the edges of the lake. I can teleport you back there.
Whatever it takes. For a day, a week, of course.
And you see Rosemeadow kind of trots over to Thalia and sort of takes Thalia's arm and she places her hand over it, and you watch as the tattoo doesn't like shrink or anything, but she does cast a spell. You see Rose Meadow for the first time, just at a touch. She touches Thalia's arm, and magic kind of flows through her. Like Thalia's like, oh, the pain's gone. Like it was starting to ache. And that pain's gone. I don't know what I did, but I think I helped.
Thank you, Rose Meadow. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's okay. I mean, I just want to help you and thank you for, doing everything that you've done for me. It's the least I can do, and I think I can. There's all these things that I can do with beasts and plants and healing and all of this stuff. I think
between all of us, we can get an understanding of these powers and guide you into understanding them yourself and using them correctly and not, I remember Vala shooting spells into the sky and we had to control all of that. So let's not do that. I don't think you can do that. Let's not do that.
Okay. I think I can make animals smart.
Sorry?
Yeah. I feel like I can make animals really smart.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah. Unless you want to physically hit something, don't ask me. I'm out. I can't. I got nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Dawnweave will look back. Just say, well, we have a little time if you need to rest, but you will not have long.
I think we do. But the moment we leave this place with Rose Meadow, that's when we should expect the spirits to attack, right?
They will find you very quickly. They will be drawn to her now. When she leaves this sanctum, they will find you very, very quickly. Be prepared.
And does Rose Meadow have the freedom to speak with the ones outside?
Oh, yes. Yes, I wanted Rose Meadow to understand what has happened. I wanted you all to understand this place before she spoke with them. They have been here for some time. I managed to freeze time for them. They are the ones who were here when Rose Meadow's mother was slain. They have not aged a day since they have been here. They are the closest people to her family as can be. And I have given Rose Meadow the gift of the many years that I have spent learning them, knowing them. I know all their names. I remember all their birthdays like I was here. And Rose Meadows kind of begins rambling off a bunch of names and things like that.
Well, I mean, we have to prepare to fight these spirits, so I think Rose Meadow has plenty of time to speak to all of them.
Indeed. And if you have any further questions that I can help with, I'm happy to try and answer them.
I just have one, but I guess you don't have to get back to me straight away, but Rose Meadow, what's your name?
I don't know. I've only ever been Rose Meadow. I don't know if I don't know. I suppose I can't be Rose Meadow, can I? Or can I? I don't know.
You could be Rose Meadow.
Well, I think Rose Meadow is the family name, Quill. I think it's just one thing. It's the Rose Meadow family. I don't think you can be Rose Meadow. I'd have to be Rose Meadow.
Oh, you're right. That is confusing. And I suppose you're not Rose Meadow. That's even weirder. That doesn't make any sense.
Rose Meadow. That's even stranger, yes.
Anyway. Maybe the people outside know. Or
I think if I want anyone to give me a name, I want it to be you. I want it to be all of you.
Lucius melts. He was about to burst, saying you look stunning, I love the horn, and then he just passes out when hearing that.
Fair enough. Well, on that, we can end the episode, I think. With Lucius
It took us how long?
Lucius just
how long?
and then just...
Yeah. I'm just going to say, it took us how long to come up with the name, the Storm Chasers? Rose Meadow ain't
we
going to
didn't
get a new
even
name
come up
anytime
with it.
soon.
It kind of
No, that
defaulted
was-
when we
yeah.
named the airship. So
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you,
yeah.
Paul Rosemeadow.
I am
Terry.
I'm quietly confident, and I don't want to put pressure on her, but I'm quietly confident that Rhiannon will probably come up with an incredibly cute, sweet name for Rose Meadow at
There'll be
some point
something-
in the next week.
There'll be something, I'm sure.
Not-
Skeletor.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I just have a feeling for it. Like you'll have Skeletor Rose Meadow. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You babbling boob. Yeah. Amazing. Well,
That was the
there you go.
coolest
episode.
bit. That was cool
Yeah.
as hell. Oh my
Fucking-
god.
Yeah.
All I have to do is introduce some giant universe lore, and Tom is just like, I love it. It's the fucking best episode
It's
ever.
so
It's
good.
It's not even
amazing.
that. It's not even that. It's like I feel like so many episodes I come out of it and I'm like imagining like the ending of this, right? And there was when we were on the ship heading towards Hadar and Hadar swallowing everything whole. And then this is like, oh, but the ending could be us cutting the tie and Aerois just drifting off into the distance as it falls into void.
To oblivion.
But we saved the
Yeah.
rest
just
of the
way.
us
time.
standing there going,
Like watching a red like mass just slowly consuming this.
Yeah, and there's nothing you can do. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool.
That's what the stakes are now. Yeah, we know.
Awesome.
Oh god. I
As if it wasn't bad
yeah,
enough.
I love like Greek mythology and the spiders. They make me think of the fates, like, you know, with the weaving and the weaving time and all that.
yeah.
So cool.
Oh, it's one of my favorite
100%.
things from mythology. So
it's
you
100%
bringing that
what I
in, I'm
wanted to
just
do.
like, yes, feed me. I love this.
Oh, so cool.
Hell yeah.
Well, we are going to end on the Yogscast because there is another stream on after us. But we're going to continue on High Rollers D&D, just kind of chatting about the episode and also reading out donations and stuff like that. So Yogis, thank you very much for sticking around. We will see you next week for another episode
Next week.
of High Rollers. And yeah,
Oh no, wait. We won't see you on Yogscast next week. We'll see you on Just High Rollers D&D.
Jingle Jam next week.
Jingle
Yeah, you're
Jam
right. So
next
it will
week.
just be High Rollers next week. We won't be on the Yogscast channel. We'll just be on High Rollers D&D. We are going to do a normal stream next week. We know Jingle Jam's going on, but we're going to do our normal stream. Then we're going to do a special Christmas episode on the 12th, which is our Jingle Jam charity fundraiser. We're going to do a big special one. We've got a really fun idea for that. And then we will be taking a 2-week break over Christmas. So
Yes.
so next week and the week after, those are all the big special episodes. So you definitely don't want to miss those. All right.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, nice. Thank you very much.
Right.
Yogis.
Bye, Yogscast.
Thanks.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, High Rollers. But yeah, I mean, obviously the whole Spiders Fate Weavers thing, like 100% intentional, like 100% like connected to the old Greek, the three
Really
fates
cool.
and stuff like that.
Fates, yeah.
But also
I
it was
love
like,
that.
I love bringing stuff back and connecting stuff, and the whole
Yeah.
Dusk Willow thing. I was like, I always
I
knew I
didn't
wanted
expect
to do
that
more
at
with
all.
that. Yeah, I always knew I wanted to do more with that, and
Very
the
cool.
idea of having some stuff kind of tie it all together, and then the idea of the Web of Eternity. It's just nice to kind of like, you know, be like, well, there's a reason why Aerois is like this, and there's a reason that things are the way it is, and you know, everything is connected.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Multiverse
and if you're,
confirmed.
Juicy.
if you're slightly confused, by the way, of the way that this is connected to Ayla and Quill, this was a one-shot. We did it, what, PAX?
PAX, yeah. We did with Nate Sharp and Aaron M. Evans as well. And we did it at PAX, and it's on the channel. It is in the like playlist
It's in
and
the
stuff. I think we
playlist
did
as
upload
well.
it.
But just in case you saw the one shot and thought, no, it's not canonical. Well, it is.
Oh yeah, I said it was. I said it was
was.
canonical. So
Epic.
Just
Yeah.
in case. Just in case.
but yeah. And,
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Oh. Oh. Oh, God, yeah.
He's so happy.
Anyway.
It's the kind of stuff where I could see Tom was like, I have so many things I want to ask and talk about, but I don't want to steal the limelight. So please, somebody else
I
talk
know,
for a
yeah.
bit, because
Someone
like
else
he
say
would have
something.
just
That's all
gone
good.
on. Yeah.
It's all
Okay.
questions I want to hear
Yeah.
answers to.
But yeah, hell of an episode. But donation time. We had a donation from Ducat. It was a quarter hundo. Quarter hundo from Ducat. I can't dono much, but I do want to help contribute to the studio fund. Love watching the stream. Thank you very much. Ace
Thank you.
of Thorns donated with Drider Lady does her ancient one thing, and the audience goes, whoa, yeah. A fun moment to sneak in, a missed opportunity for a hint at campaign 3, or did I miss something? Anyways, another great session. Hugs as always. Maybe. I don't know.
think
I did think of it. I did think of it.
Characters.
Yeah,
No.
but also, yeah, I didn't. That's the thing is like I couldn't show any characters, so I was like, you know what? But it does. I mean, yeah, it will be one of the Nexus points on the Web of Eternity. I'm going to keep that as a thing. Yeah,
That's awesome.
because if you remember, if anybody who remembers, by the way, the end of Lightfall will remember me describing like it's zooming away from the planet and seeing all the different points of light. This is the same thing. Like
there you go. We got to see the Markiverse. Into the Spider-Verse. Oh shit!
The
Should that be
MCU.
episode name? Into the Spider-Verse.
MCU. It wouldn't be cinematic though. It would be like MRPU or something like that. Mark Roleplay Universe.
Marpu.
Marpu.
Mr. Pooh.
Fuck's sake.
Mr. Pooh.
Oh no! I did that myself. I can't even be mad. I did it myself.
Enter the Mr. Pooh. Anyway, I am a robot 012C, who is not a robot, as it turns out. A half hundo. God damn it, Mark! Don't give me ideas and inspirations.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Graying Badger with another half hundo. Hyped up for a Knights of Evening Star crossover / cameo now, Mark. I'll let you know when my pulse stabilizes again.
Just as a point, obviously, I hinted at some things there. We can't really call it the Mr. Pooh because it's the idea that like everybody out there playing D&D, it's all just one big universe in it. Like
your game is part of Mr. Pooh.
Well, that actually. I actually have a serious point about that because I realized it when I saw some folks mentioning it and stuff. That idea where she plucked the thread of Hadar and like all of the other ones broke away, or like a bunch of them broke away as well. My theory for that is if anybody is running their own home campaign set in Aerois, those would be worlds that would vanish, right? Those would be the worlds that were kind of like chain reaction destroyed if you guys don't save it. So if you guys fail, everybody out there running an Aerois campaign has to immediately end the campaign.
Sorry.
We'll send out the patches.
Sorry.
You're level 14 in the middle of
What
combat.
will
But I'm
happen?
sorry, game's over.
Back to Sval, everybody.
Game's over. Hadar just consumed the entire universe.
Sorry,
Like,
your character's dead.
What will
Sorry.
happen is we'll turn up at your house while you're playing your game and stamp on your fucking table and just throw everything around. Go, it's gone now.
one.
Bye.
Flipping tables.
TPK, bitch.
Stop this now.
Yeah. Kicking your
I love
dice over.
Yeah.
Amazing. Dark Raid Disciple with a quarter hundo. So if you fail to stop Hadar, do you skip straight to campaign 9 because 3 to 8 no longer happen?
No, they can be other points. 3 is I see 3 as being on one of the more connected Nexus points. So
I just love the idea of us going like, hey, welcome to campaign 7, and everyone's just like, wait, what the fuck? You messed up your uploads. Crispy with a half hundo. Thank you very much. Fantastic lore,
Crispy.
beautiful imagery, and music. Absolutely on point. Just fucking brilliant. Thank you.
It was spot on.
That was great. That was incredible. Thank you very much, Crispy. Fail has donated with Unicorn Rose Meadow. I knew you'd like that. The most magical of ponies. Also, time to save all the web of realities. Absolutely no pressure there. But if it goes sideways, we may need to delete some campaigns. Yeah.
Yep.
That's Gonzo. If we fail Aerois, I think we should just delete every Lightfall video.
Hadar 1.
Yeah.
just delete the entire playlist. It'll be like Anasanus or whatever
I'll
they
do
were
it.
called.
Or we'll replace
I'll
it with
do
like
it,
this
yeah.
pulsating black and
red light.
140 episodes.
Thumbnail
Episodes
changes.
of 3 hours. Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. I'll do it.
That'd be
I
really
love
cool.
that though. Imagine
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing if we deleted the entire playlist and replaced it with one
Yeah.
entirely of Hadar videos. And we were like, sorry guys, yeah, the campaign was ended.
We lost.
I wanted to go back and watch those. Well, you can't. It got destroyed. It's like,
Hadar's
oh my
got
god.
Only
Yeah.
rolled better.
Bit of a spoiler, but yeah.
Awesome.
That is Kojima level thinking.
Yeah.
Also, I was going to ask, one of the tapestries, was it just the Dun Dun intro?
Yeah, sure.
Nice. Cool.
Except
Anyway.
the difference is that Aerois is spelt correctly on that one.
Nice. Jenny Claire has donated with, hey again, High Rollers, clear skies. A couple friends and I are starting up a D&D stream in the new year, and I was just wondering if you have any tips for new streamers. Literally any advice is useful. Thanks for everything you do. Love you guys. Don't set it in Aerois because we will shut down that game if we lose.
Very quickly.
Audio number one priority. Make audio your number one priority.
Yes.
Audio number one. 100%.
Cameras and stuff can follow, but audio number one.
So you get audio down and then PTZ camera a little bit after
PTZ
that.
camera. Yeah.
Don't listen to this.
The other thing for me is just don't talk over each other, but also don't be worried to just keep the flow. It's the flow that's important. The flow.
It's very important to Tom specifically.
It's important to me because I hate silence. I do hate silence.
Fucking hates it. Nice.
Keep talking. Dark Day 41. Dark Day 41 has donated.
Can we just not talk?
message.
Can we just let him stew?
He would
I'll carry
hate
on
it.
For a little bit.
No, I'll carry on. Don't you worry. Honky Conky, back again. Hello. Awesome. Rod Rosemeadow. We used an anagram solver to find you a new name. Sods. Awesome Rod Rosemeadow. Oh, is it Rosemeadow? I see. Well, there you go. Rod. That's her name now. Thank you very much for that donation. La 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 la. We also have some gifted subs from I Am a Robot 012C, 10 gifted subs. Thank you very much. Being Wolfie with 3 gifted subs. Neroct and Crizzy29 also gifting subs. Thank you very much. HR Bits, we had some from Jomi Baker. Thank you. And MK13 Wolf with a quarter hundo in bits saying, wow, a dark mazy forest. Do you guys know why dark is actually spelled with a K and not a C? It's because you can't see in the dark. I go sleep now. Thank you very much, MK13 Wolf. Everyone else is laughing in my head. I can hear the screams. Other stuff. So this is from Nightjar, I think, that just says, so legally, if you lot fail and Hadar wins, do we have to go and destroy half of all D&D campaigns? Yes, we do.
No, just the one set in Aerois.
And that's everything. That's everything. Please, someone else. Thank you very much. Oh my God. Hang on. No, wait. I've got some more, I think. No, I don't. It was a bad refresh. The only other thing I can say is check out the Patreon. We've got some behind the scenes stuff going on for the studio going up on there.
Yeah.
If you want to see all of those as they happen, there's already a video going up there on there now, exclusive to Patreon. So please support us there. That would be incredible. See all the studio updates in live. Someone else, please. Please.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors, D&D Beyond, NordVPN, and Steamforge Games, Adventures in Academia. It's been amazing. Great episode. Thanks, everyone.
Incredible.
We'll see you next week. Only on High Rollers D&D. No Yogscast next week. They'll be doing Jingle Jam stuff. But we're going to keep playing. We got a special camera. We're going to be checking out our studio this week. We'll give you some updates on that, like Tom said, on Patreon, on Twitter, and all that kind of good stuff. Yes. We'll see you then. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.